go. Let's go. Get him. Wow! Woo! Nice! Nice! Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Right, and we are live. Okay. What's up, people? We are here. This is episode 9 of the Luxury and Mayhem podcast. I got to take some time out, as always, to thank the loyal viewers for coming back and rocking with us so tough. We appreciate all of your support. I think we are at right around 80 subscribers with this podcast, which is phenomenal. We're doing great. We've got a couple thousand views overall, and we really, really appreciate that. So if you can, please, if you're new to the channel, take some time, hit the subscribe button over in the corner, hit the notification bell so you know you get notifications anytime we upload content. We're going to always be bringing you powerhouse individuals. That's what we do here. We showcase the best, and today is no exception. Sitting across from me is a man well-renowned in the San Diego community for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is the owner of quite a few operations out here, but one of the biggest and most well-known is Alliance Eastlake Jiu-Jitsu. If you don't know who I'm talking about my man Pepper Brooks, Coach Elias Gallegos. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, fellas? How's it going? Thanks for having me.
And then sitting in with me today also, as always, I told you guys we're going to see him on the channel. My man, Big Daddy Martinez. So we wanted to bring you on today. Obviously, we are, like I said, we're trying to highlight the people in the San Diego community who are doing their thing and making an impact out here. And your name was one of the first names to pop up on the list when we started talking about people that we wanted to get on. So I'm glad that you were able to take some time out with us today, coming from church and spend this beautiful Sunday, which is we're blessed with right now because I mean we've been getting a lot of rain and some crazy weather down here. It actually snowed in National City like the other day. Where did you guys?
Here. I heard about that.
Snow?
Yeah, someone got busted. Someone got busted, threw the stuff out the window, baby.
I mean, I saw a few little clips. It looked like it was some heavy, heavy ice. But for San Diego natives, obviously that's not something we're used to seeing. So it was kind of a cool little turnout.
I don't ski no more. I don't ski no more.
I've been to Big Bear, but I did most of my skiing down right near the border. You know what I mean? So I understand. So what's going on? How's your day going today,
It's been great, man. Like any day above ground is a blessed day for me. When I wake up in the morning, I'm blessed. You know what I mean? There's things I should be in jail or dead, you know, so I'm happy when I wake up and I get to see my kids, get to go to church and get to see my students. That's a blessed day for me. Waking up is blessed. Just being blessed.
Now, you obviously are a very colorful individual just on the outside.
Sure.
If I didn't know all of your accolades and I just saw you in the streets, I would think a number of different things.
Sure, yeah. Most of them probably true.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the way that you came up. Obviously, your past is pretty colorful.
Yeah.
Where are you from and where were you born?
I grew up in Lemon Grove, and then I moved to Chula Vista, like around the 10th grade.
Another San Diego native.
Yeah, San Diego.
Love it.
Born and raised in San Diego. You know, I've shared this before, but I just started sharing this portion of my life. You know, I grew up real angry kid, get into a lot of fights, like everybody did, right? But my anger came from childhood trauma. Okay. My anger came from being molested from an uncle. Wow. And so I told myself, this is how I was able to remedy that in my head. I said, if I'm the baddest kid or the kid that nobody wants to fuck with, if I'm the kid that gets in the most trouble, I'm going to get my respect. And no one's ever going to touch me like that again. No one's ever going to hurt me. So I began to harden my heart. I began to make my heart black and just not care about anybody because of what I was dealing with. That I couldn't tell. I didn't even talk to my parents about this till about 2 years ago.
Wow.
So this didn't come out till about 2 years ago. It's something that I dealt with all my life. And as I realized when I was going through therapy, everything that I was doing, every mistake I made, every time I went to jail, every time I did something wrong, was all related to what happened to me as a kid. You know, but when you're a kid, you don't know any better. When you're a kid, you're just like, this is never going to happen to me again. So I forced myself to be the meanest kid, the bully. I forced myself to be that because what's happening inside of me, I never wanted that to happen again. And it happened for years now. It was happening for me for quite some time.
Okay, so I'm similar. I understand the situation and the fact that my mother was dealt with molestation in her family, and it's always been something that she educated us on to make sure that we, always knew our boundaries when it came to being around other people, touching other people, and what we should expect and accept from other people as well. So your particular abuse, without going in too deep into it, that was something that you were consciously aware of throughout your childhood, or was it something that came back kind of suddenly on a flashback?
No, I knew.
Okay, you were consciously aware.
It happened for
I think that's a little bit harder to even deal with because you have to process it the entire time.
I was able to just kind of like put that away,
compartmentalize it
deep down inside, and every once in a while it would come up. But even the way I thought about sex, the way I looked at girls, the way I looked at guys, the way I looked at life was just manipulated by all of that I went through as a kid. You know? And so that's why early on I was the most outspoken, the most brazen. Like I didn't care, but it was really like honestly it was a facade. I was deep down inside I was just a little fat kid. Here's what I attributed to. Like you guys ever seen that movie Ratatouille? Remember Ratatouille? And there's the little mouse that's controlling. Like it was this little inside is this little fat kid. Who just wanted to have a girlfriend, and just wanted to have the pretty girl in school. And there's this little fat kid controlling this big dude who was always in fights, who figured out real early on in life that if you punch somebody in the mouth, you're going to get his respect right away.
Guaranteed.
And you'll probably get some other people's respect.
Yep.
So there's this little fat kid inside pulling my hair strings and just trying not to fuck it up even worse.
Now, did you have any other influences family-wise that took you down that path, or was this a path that you were creating on your own?
It was a path I was creating on my own. Like, my dad loved me. My dad came from Mexico. He's from Durango, Mexico. My dad worked all day and then was at church all night.
What did he do for a living?
He did construction.
Okay.
So my dad lived there. You want to talk about, like, the American dream? My dad came over here, became a citizen, started his own construction company, had the American dream, and then brought most of his 11 brothers and sisters over from Mexico.
Wow, 11, big family.
Yeah, he was the oldest of 11, or his oldest of 12.
Oldest of 12. Okay.
So my dad, I wish, man, if I become half the man my dad is, I'll be happy, brother.
All right.
My dad was my hero growing up.
Okay.
People were always coming to the house, asking my dad for advice. And that's what I learned what a man was. A man takes care of his family. A man takes care of others. My dad told me one time, success is not about how much money you have in the bank or what kind of car you drive, or even where your zip code is. Success is when you can give to other people and not expect anything in return, not want anything in return, And so that was a big influence. But my dad was never around because he was working so much. So the way my dad showed me how he loved me was, first of all, I got the worst ass whoopings ever from my dad, right? Because he didn't want to deal with it. And then my dad showed me how he loved me by taking me to Toys R Us and be like, whatever you want, Papa. Whatever you want.
The reverse. So he gave you both.
Yeah, he gave me both. That's what so for me, like one of my love languages is if I love you, I'm gonna buy you shit. I'm gonna give you shit. So that's why people really like hanging around me, because if I love you, they get shit from me.
You know what I mean? You physically manifest that.
And but then I have to realize early on that sometimes people are gonna be around you just for that.
Just for that.
I've had to cut out a lot of fakes in my life. A lot of people, before I used to have a crew of like 30, now it's just me and my son. You know what I mean? It's just me and my sons.
That's good.
That's what we were just right now, just me and my son.
Okay.
That's my crew. That's my crew.
And it should be, right?
Yeah.
That's who should get all of your attention and all of that knowledge and all of that affection. Yeah. And not to say that giving back to people is bad, because once you get into a position where you can give back, it does for you, just as much to give as it, like you said, as it does for them.
That's a universal principle. You don't have to believe in God or not, but that's a universal principle. If you give, you're gonna get blessed no matter what. If you give, and so I wholeheartedly, that's how I'm made. That's just how I'm made. Like, I love to help people. That's my calling, is for leadership. My purpose is to help people become the best versions of themselves. So like at my gym, like if you ask me what I do, I don't teach jiu-jitsu. Like that's the platform that I have. I don't teach jiu-jitsu. So a lot of people talk about jiu-jitsu in two formats. You either do self-defense jiu-jitsu or sport jiu-jitsu, right? I don't teach sports jiu-jitsu, and I don't teach self-defense. I teach self-mastery. I could be working at fucking Home Depot, and I'll still be changing people's lives. I teach people, I teach because I know what my calling is. I know what my purpose is. I teach you how to be the best version of yourself, right?
Got it.
So that's what I teach, and I love doing that, man. I love having somebody come in that comes into my nonprofit, an at-risk youth, or a female who's been, you know, devastated by rape or domestic violence, or a combat veteran that's dealing with PTSD, and I'm able to be a part. I'm not healing them, but I'm able to be a part of that healing process. And you see these people's lives change it. You know, when people's lives change, when they're thinking about suicide. So my nonprofit, and this is not something to boast about, but my nonprofit, we've saved 22 people from committing suicide. Now that might not be a lot like these other people, but I got 22 people. I got 22 people that I've been able to be on the phone with them, calm them down, go to their house, or go to the platform and back them off, take that gun from their hand or whatever it is they were about to do, and
redirect.
When you can do that for somebody, it's just powerful. You know what I mean? And for the longest time, I didn't love myself, right? I hated myself. I was going through depression, severe depression. I was addicted to cocaine, addicted to partying, addicted to all this stuff. Once I started loving myself, I realized I could affect people 100x more than the way I was affecting them, you know? And that's where I'm at right now.
Now, being able to that's a gift. Yeah. That's a God-given gift, sure. Because there's no blueprint on how to talk somebody down. Yeah. How do you think that you acquired that skill? Was it just from experiencing what you've experienced in your own personal trauma? How did you learn to love yourself?
You know what? I just understood how much God loves me. And this was only in the past year. People used to think, like I thought so much of myself, but it wasn't. I was faking it because I didn't. When I looked in the mirror, you know what I saw in the mirror? I saw that fat kid.
You saw
I saw the fat kid that was getting molested. And then one day I just understood how much God loves me. I understood who I am in God, who I am in Christ. Like I'm a son of God, you know, and I live in sonship. And the Bible even talks about like how will others know, like how do you show that you love God? It's by loving others as you love yourself. And that really affected me, right? Loving others as I love myself. Well, I do love others. But Elias, how much do you love yourself? Mm-hmm. How much more can you affect other people if you really start loving yourself?
Truly love yourself.
If you truly love yourself, right? And that's the way that they will know that you love God. So now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I do love God, but the Bible is telling me that if I don't love myself and love others in the way that I love myself, then I'm not really loving God. And that hit me hard, right? And like I let that sink in. I woke up one day, you know what? And I didn't see that fat kid anymore. I saw me. And you see that I have hope right here. You see that?
Yeah.
So the reason I got that tattoo was because there was a point in my life where every day I would wake up, I was in so much pain, emotionally and mentally, that I wanted to kill myself, right? One day I even grabbed my gun and I went to go say bye to my kids. And I was looking for a park just to shoot myself. And the only thing that stopped me was my oldest son. He's got these big eyes. My oldest son has these big eyes. And right before I was about to do it, all I could see was his big eyes. And knowing that, like, I have two sons. My youngest son he's a rider. He's like, of course, he's a beast, bro.
They're gonna take both sides of you, right? Yeah.
So I was like, if I do this to myself, my youngest one gonna be okay. I'll drop him off in Afghanistan. He'll show up in 2 weeks in San Diego. Like he's like that.
Okay. I'll drop him off in Afghanistan. He'll be home.
He'll show up. My oldest one has a big heart. My oldest one is like, and I was like, if I do this, he's not gonna survive without me, you know. And then I wrote hope on that next day or the next 2 days. I got the hope tattooed on my head. Every morning I wake up, I would see that, and it would remind me that I have some hope for the day, and that's why I have that tattoo. You know what I mean? So it's something like, you look, when you're overweight, like I used to be 300 pounds. Like when you're overweight and some dude who's got a six-pack, and he's all in shape, he's like, I'm gonna help you. He's like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
No, you can't relate.
I want some fat dude who lost a bunch of weight, who knows what it's like to
can tell me the real.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, wanting to go to the 24-hour donuts, Sonny's Donuts in Lemon Grove. Yeah.
Shout out Sonny's.
Sonny's Donuts. I'm gonna be there on Monday for my dozen. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I want somebody like that. And so I think that's a part of, when you can relate to somebody, it's just that you're that much closer to their heart, you know? So I always used to think myself as being a weird person because I was different, you know? And then one time one of my pastors told me, he said, you know what, Elias? God made you this way because you're going to be able to affect people that a normal pastor, that a normal person wouldn't. You've been through some stuff. Like, everybody can relate to something in somebody else. Correct. In some form or fashion, right?
If you really search.
Yeah, if you really search. God just made me relatable to drug addicts and guys that went to jail and people that are hurting.
Well, the same way that your tattoos would cast you out of some circles, they welcome you into others, right?
For sure.
So it makes you more relatable to the streets and to the people who actually really need help, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. You said you looked in the mirror and you were seeing someone else, but there's also another saying that's fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So when you came to the realization, you realized that the person that you were looking at really was you.
Yeah.
There was no fakeness there.
There was a part of me where I'm like, okay, this is who I am. This is how God created me. This is how I've been living. Let's see if it's real, you know? And my personality has always been the same. It was just like an internal change, you know, where I knew who I finally was. Where I guess you could say I stepped into that Pepperbrook. I stepped into that and I was like, this is really me. I owned it. And that's where I was.
Let's talk about that. The name Pepper Brooks. Yeah. Where does that hail from?
So Pepper Brooks is I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Dodgeball. You guys seen that movie Dodgeball?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so Jason Bateman plays Pepper Brooks. So he's the commentator.
He's the commentator.
He's
always tore up.
Yeah. He's dressing all crazy with like bright green, and that's how I dress. Like I like to be loud.
Okay.
And so one day we're watching this movie, and like my youngest son is like 3 or 4, and he's like Pepper Brooks. He goes, Dad, that's you, Pepper Brooks. That's you. So so that day I just changed my name on Facebook to Pepper Brooks, right? Yo, one time, and it just people ran with it. People just ran with it, you know. One time I was at the Denver airport one time, and some dude's like, we went to Breckenridge to go have a family vacation, and some dude from across the thing was like, Pepper Brooks, and I was like, I was like, what the hell? You know me? Like, Instagram. And I was like, okay, like, whatever. But that's how I know there's 3 types of ways I'll know people. I'll meet people downtown, whatever, like, oh, Professor. Oh, they know me through Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, Pepper Brooks. Oh, they know me through Instagram. You know, or Brother Elias. Oh, they know me through church. You know what I mean? Like that. Nobody calls me Elias, let alone Brother, so you come from church.
Gotcha.
Everybody else calls me either Pepper Brooks or Professor. I don't like. Okay. I could probably count on one hand how many times people call me Elias in a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the wife, pretty much. Yeah. When you're in trouble. It's not babe or honey. So is the Pepper Brooks a persona? Do you think that's like...
Yeah, no, for sure. So the Pepper Brooks, that's like me, but like for Instagram, for social media, it is a persona. It is like the fucking Liver King. It's like, it's a way. So here's what I know that I'm good at, right? I know I'm good at leadership. I know I'm good at teaching jiu-jitsu, you know, and I'm a great dancer. I know I'm good at that.
Oh,
you know?
shit, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I know what I'm good at, and so I triple down on what I'm good at. I don't try to be better. I don't try to make myself good at what I'm not. I triple down on what I'm good at to be the best at that, you know? Okay. So one thing that people never understood, if you look at my social media, of my Instagram, of my gym, if you look at the other 5 gyms in Eastlake or the other 5 gyms in Chula Vista, all they're going to show you is jiu-jitsu, maybe a technique, you know, maybe some kids at the tournament, gold medals, and nothing differentiates from everything from all fun. You're like, what the fuck am I going? But if you go to my page, you see me dancing, you see me partying, you see me. I do
like, this guy's having a great time.
Yeah, you see me do these pep talks with Pepper.
Yeah,
motivational speaking. So when you look at my Instagram, people, they're seeing the gym, they're seeing the gold medals, they're seeing the test, they're seeing all these things, but they're also seeing me. And when they come through the door, I ask them my first question: How'd you find us? Oh, I saw your Instagram. Oh, this motherfucker knows who I am now. He's here because he already knows the price.
And he wants to be here.
He's here because he wants to be here. Mm-hmm. Other people, if I just had a regular Instagram, people are like, what's the price? Oh, I'm gonna check you out. And this is what I tell people: I go, look, you got a week. I'm checking you out. You might not be the right fit for me. And that's what I tell people. Like people think that they're vetting me when they come. No. I vet you when you come to my gym. You might not be the right place. I got enough students. I make enough money. You know what I mean?
You understand?
I'm trying to get the right person. Here's the problem with a lot of jiu-jitsu people. I always ask them, who's your student base? Who are you going after? Me, my niche, my market is military law enforcement. That's who I go after, right? I'll ask somebody, who do you go after? Oh, whoever wants to pay. Nah, you don't want just whoever wants to pay, because sometimes that person, whoever wants to pay, is a cancer. And you let a cancer stay for your little $199 or $125 a month, cancer grows very fast, and you got to learn to cut that out. And I learned that the hard way. So that's what I do. You know what I mean? That's the reason I have that persona on there, because, you know, I'm pro-gun, I'm, you know, pro-life, you know, conservative. Like, people know who I am, and that's the majority of people that you're going to see at my gym.
It's an instant filter.
Exactly.
Hey,
exactly.
I'm only going to get people who already know what's up.
And that's who I want.
They're ready to accept it.
I want people on my team going this way. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. You know, we're all on our own little boats, but we're all going one way with the same ideas, the same philosophy, and the same growth. There's enough jiu-jitsu, there's enough schools where you can go wherever you want. And even if I got friends that go to other gyms, because we think differently. And I'm happy that I'm just happy they're training. Yeah. Like, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But the Pepper Brooks is a persona, like, I am crazy. When I used to, look, I'm clean now. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. We could just say this. Pepper Brooks was like the not clean version of Elias Gallegos.
Okay.
Like just crazy, balling out. Like.
And how long did that last?
That was years.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say maybe the past year and a half.
He said the shout out once. He says, "Hey, I'm going to." He said he likes dancing, so he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to ADC, and if you guys want to roll with me, we're not gonna deal with traffic. We're gonna pull up in a helicopter."
Yeah.
That's how we did it.
Yeah. Pulling up in a helicopter, huh?
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Not to deal with the traffic.
Yeah, I'm not waiting for 3 hours in Vegas. We took the helicopter in and out.
You took a helicopter to ADCC.
Yeah, EDC. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
EDC. Yeah. That is nuts.
Yeah.
What? Okay. That
look. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, and yo, I nearly lost the gym like 3 times when I was walling out. One time, so my wife, I'm separated right now, but my wife at the time,
okay,
didn't really deal with the finances, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we're doing our taxes, my wife's like, I need all the information, right? And I was like, yeah, here's the, whatever. And she's like, hey, we need to talk. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, there used to be this club called Stingery in downtown.
Oh, right? Stingeries. Yeah, big Stingery. Yeah. Shout out.
Bro, the first year I had the club, I spent $58,000 just that year alone at just getting bottle service.
Oh.
Just at Stingery alone by itself.
At $4.25 a bottle. Yeah, that's a lot of bottles.
58 racks that year, right?
That's a lot of bottles.
Yeah, I was
like 10,000 bottles,
so look,
1,000 bottles.
Park.
Parking.
Park. Yeah, after Stingery closed, we started going to Park. And another thing, that's really how, like, I think people really got to know me in the culture and in downtown and being like...
It's because you were active.
I was active. Look, so here's the thing. I trained so hard. I'm a real extremist. So if I train hard, I'm going to party hard. And that's where, like, my addiction came into play. I would train so hard, and then I would party. And you get a lot of guys that train jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying everybody, but we all, to be honest, if we're going to be honest, there's a lot of guys that train jiu-jitsu. We train because we're hurting. We train because we got problems.
We got to let it out.
We got to let it out. And a lot of times, those types of guys will train hard and they'll party hard. You know what I mean? So you tend to gravitate towards those guys. When you're hurting, you gravitate towards other people that are hurting.
Exactly.
And so for me, that 4 hours at a table or that 2 days at a rave,
you can let go.
I didn't have to think about my problems. I didn't think about depression. You're high, and so you're getting out of it. But then after a while, you realize that's not dealing with the issue. You're putting a little, you're escaping it for
it's not even a Band-Aid. No, yeah, it's complete escape.
You're not dealing with it. And when you deal with it, you got to put that shit aside. You got to sit in front of your problem and say, yep, that's my uncle. He did this to me. It affected me this way. Now can I forgive him and move on? That's when
and that's easier said than done.
Yeah, right. You're right. And I'm going to tell you there was a point where, so I used to be a bodyguard and a kidnapper for some people from Mexico. And that was what was going to happen to my uncle when I was in so much pain. I was getting ready to just go pick my uncle up and take care of it, And at that point, I had to forgive him because I knew what was going to happen.
You have to fully internalize it at that point.
I knew that everybody in the family was going to know who did it, But when I forgave my uncle, I don't know if you ever done like you guys know what like kettlebells are or like a Bulgarian bag. You ever mess with the Bulgarian bag? And you put the Bulgarian bag, do squats. It's like I had 100-pound Bulgarian bag on me, and when I finally released that from my uncle, that thing just fell off, and like I didn't have no stress in my neck anymore, and we just found out last year that my uncle has a colon cancer, and I prayed for him, I have no animosity towards my uncle anymore. Now I even think to myself, man, what happened to my uncle?
What happened to him?
What happened to my uncle that he did that to me? You know what I mean?
This is what hurt people, right?
Yeah, this is what one of my mentors told me. One of my mentors told me that when you get into argument with somebody and there's an altercation, you're not dealing with them, you're dealing with their hurts. And I was able to understand that with my uncle. I love my uncle. He was just hurting, and he hurt me in a way that forever changed my life. But here's something that the Bible says, right? That the enemy meant it for bad, but God meant it for good. The enemy tried to use my molestation to make me an evil person, right? But God meant it for good. Why? Because I'm doing good for God. Now I'm able to utilize and use all the trauma that I had, all the hurt and the pain that I went through to help other people. The first time I ever shared my story of depression was on social media because I thought to myself, man, social media is great. But I was looking around and thinking and seeing, man, people are just talking shit. Like
faking it.
Yeah, faking it. Like, you know what, I'm gonna try to be real and just give a little thing about depression and how jiu-jitsu's changed my life. I made a little reel, you know. And then within an hour, I had like high-level black belts and MMA, like champion MMA guys hitting me up. Guys I didn't even know.
It went viral.
Right? And they were, it went super viral, right? And they were like, hey, man, thank you so much for and I was like, what? Like, I was scary. I was scared because I'm like, I don't know what people are going to, but I hit it, right?
Validated.
And it was for a reason. There's other people out there like me dealing with that needed a voice, right? And needed, here's the most important thing. They needed to know that they're not alone, right? The enemy wants you to feel alone because when you're alone, you feel like nobody understands me, right? I can't ask anybody for help, so I'm going to try to do it on my own. And look, nobody can do it on their own. Nobody goes through this life on their own. Once you realize that you're not alone and there's help for you, then there's salvation. Then there's a hope right there. And so now I do this pep talks with Pepper. I started getting really good at them. I do like 2 or 3 a week, and I put them out there and then people, like the other day, I won't say his name, but the other day somebody called me who was a law enforcement officer, goes, hey, Professor, he goes, I don't go to your gym, but I want to quit my job. Like, I'm having so many problems with my job. I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a cop. And I was like, why do you want to quit? Like, I was like, well, can you come and meet me? He came to the gym, and we talked. And he gave his life to the Lord right there at my gym. He didn't go to my gym. He go trains at another gym. He just showed up because he knows that I'm somebody he could reach out to. And I took half of my day off for this guy, you know? Mm-hmm. I just know I have that platform. Look, I'm not Brazilian. And here's my joke. I'm not Brazilian. I'm not world champion, right? I'm not a world champion, not Brazilian. I took second at the Dogi Worlds, but I'm not a world champion and I'm not Brazilian, but I have one of the top 5 biggest schools in San Diego. And it's for a reason. But there's a lot of people that hate me for that. There's a lot of people that don't like me because they're wasting their energy and their time on me. You know what I mean? Like if I was to ask you what's the most important commodity you have, most people would say it's their time, right? Most
Correct.
people, and it's not your time, it's your
children.
energy. It's your energy. The most important commodity you have is your energy. Like, look.
Explain, please.
So all 3 of us right here, you're going to all get my hour right now, right? You all get my hour. You're getting most of my energy because we're communicating more.
Correct.
When I'm in a class, I'll have 50 students.
Yeah.
They all get my hour, they'll get my time, but I might have a brand new beginner that's going to get all of my energy, right? As you get older, you tend to understand that more. As you get older, you get tired. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay, I'm 46.
Man, he got me.
I got you, right?
He got me, damn.
So as you get older,
We're going to bleep that. Bleep it.
As you get older, you start to realize that it's not time that's the most valuable commodity. It's your energy. How much, when you have drama, it drains you of your energy.
Correct.
Right? When you have, let's say you have 4 kids and all day long, they're draining me of my energy, right? When you have a job place, a job or somebody a job that you don't like, and you allow them to drain you, how do you feel after that?
Tired.
Right? Your job got 8 hours, but you give that motherfucker 7.5. Yeah. 7.5. You know what I mean? And you let him drain. So now I know how to control my energy. Not everybody gets my energy. You might get my time. I might be in your presence, but you're not getting my energy unless it's.
You can pay for my time.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, though. You shouldn't have to pay for the time. You know what I mean? It's like you pay for the experience. Like when people ask me, like, what do you charge per hour? It's $200 an hour. Oh, that's a lot for an hour. No, mama, you're not paying for the hour. You're paying for my 30 years of experience. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. You know. So as we grow older, you tend to understand that more. And it's like before people would come in and like, I have a big heart. It's just like in jiu-jitsu in general, people are like, oh, it's kind of expensive. Okay, well, what? And I would be like, what can you pay? When you ask a motherfucker, what can you pay? And they're coming in
there's no excuses.
Yeah, they're like, oh, $100, whatever, and so that would happen. But now it's like, when they come in, I'm like, listen, $199. When you're here, mama, you're here for a reason because you did your homework. You're here for a reason.
Correct.
It's $199. If you can't make the $199 right now, I got some homies up the street. They're a little cheaper and they're just as good. And that's where you want to go. But right here, it's $199 because now I value myself more. Before when I didn't, remember we talked about I didn't love myself?
Correct.
Now I know my importance. I know my worth. Mm-hmm. And that's the most dangerous thing a man can do is understand his worth. When you wake up in the morning and you have, people talk shit about you and you listen to that shit talking and then you let it affect you, right? But when you wake up in the morning, you let that shit bounce off you and you know your worth, that's the most dangerous thing a man can be. Is a man who knows his worth because now he don't take shit from anybody and he goes and gets what he wants and he goes and gets what he deserves.
No, the vision is clear, right? But you're negative. Your opinion is just part of the it's just part of the win to me now. At that point, I'm gonna hear it.
I cut out all negative people in my life, and I can't fuck with. I can't do it. I used to be the one that tried to save negative people, like I'm gonna, and then just ended up drowning with them, and I can't do that anymore. I just can't.
I understand that. I understand. So, how did you find jiu-jitsu? You spend a lot of time in the streets.
Yeah.
When did you get redirected towards the arts?
So I was a 3-sport letterman in high school, right? I did a wrestled, I played football, and I did track and field. Right, but
shot put?
Yes, yeah.
All right, shot put.
The only motherfucker that knows that, right?
I ran track.
Yeah, shot put and discus, right?
Did you run the big man relay?
Yes.
Yes. This is my guy. This is my guy.
You're the only one that's ever known about the big man relay.
Yes.
The shot put and discus, right? Usually when I say I did track, people are like, I'm like, shot put and discus, huh? You know what I mean? But it's because my wrestling coach was the linebacker coach, and then he did the shot put.
Yeah.
So we did that. And so when I graduated from high school, I was just looking for that camaraderie. I was looking for that, like, what is there? Like, what else is there to do?
What can I do?
What can I do? So one of my best friends and oldest friends, his name is Dean Lister. He's a
shout out Dean Lister. Everybody, I'm pretty sure most people know who Dean Lister is.
You know, so Dean Lister, the boogeyman. We're in the same grade. He went to Hilltop High School, and I went to at that time Bonita High School. Right?
Okay,
and so I was looking for I saw the first UFC right on a VHS. I was helping my wrestling team. Some dude walks in, hey, we gotta watch this. I think it's real WWF or whatever like that. We didn't know what it was. We put it in. They wheeled it in. Remember, you wheel in the
TVs with the VCR.
Put in the VCR.
The strap on it.
And the strap on it, right? Yeah. And we're watching. It's like, what the? This is not real. Like, is it real? And so that whole wrestling practice, we were just trying to do arm bars and whatever. One of the coaches like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, it's this UFC stuff, jiu-jitsu. He goes, I did ASU Sambo. He goes, you're trying to do an armbar. So the coach had an idea of what that was. So we're fucking around with it. And I was like, I gotta fight. I got this. I'm in love with this. I gotta do this. So at that time, instantly, because remember, I'm a hurting kid.
Yeah.
So at that time, I'd already done time for armed robbery in the 10th grade. So I'm still
So at that time, were you moving towards it because you're like, yo, this is stuff I can use on the streets?
Yeah, I was just to hurt people more. So when I saw the armbar and then the rear naked choke,
I was like, I can use this.
Yeah, I was like,
I can use this.
Good, right?
Okay, got it.
So I went to it was like the white pages or the yellow pages. Remember that back in the day?
Big old book.
And there was only two schools. There was only two schools in San Diego. There was the Fabio Santos Academy, and then there was Nelson Montero School up in Carlsbad. And I walked into Fabio Santos School, and the first person I saw was Dean. He's like, hey, goofy Dean. And I go, when I saw Dean, I knew this was the place to be.
You're like, perfect.
Yeah. So I started doing that, and then like a week or 2 weeks later, I hooked up with some guys that I met in jail. We went to TJ, and they saw me get down. And look, when you go into jail, they think you're going to get rehabilitated. That's really not usually what happens.
It's school.
And if you're looking to connect, you get connected to other people.
You get connected, right? Yeah. So it gives you street credibility.
Yeah. So when I went in the 10th grade, I came out, and then my partner that went to prison or went to jail. When I got out, we hooked up again, right? So at that time, all I knew about TJ was revolutions. Like,
of course,
that's all I knew.
Yeah.
So he goes, "No, you got to dress up nice." I go, "Where are we going?" I go, "I can't dress like." He said, "No, we're going to this place called Zoos." Yeah, Zoos. Right? Back in the day, so we're going to Zoos. And I was like, "All right, cool." Like, where the fuck is this? Like, I'm just used to crazy.
Social.
Right? So, and this was the first time I'd ever seen like.
Is that one in there?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Pull it back a little bit.
So that's the first time I had ever heard about like bottle service, right? Like,
make sure it's zoomed in on him a little bit more.
We got into this place, and so the guy who ended up being my boss is in the front, and then I'm all the way in the back because I'm not in the crew. I showed up with one of my homies that was in the crew already, So we show up, but it's like this. Like I just met you right now, right? Because you're Marcos. But if we go out tonight and you get to fight, I'm getting to a fight.
We're fighting.
That dude, someone's getting fucked up tonight, right?
Yep.
That's just how I am. So at that time, my boss was on his way coming up. So they sat him down in the very front, and then next to him they sat another guy. I don't want to say who it was, but he was coming up too.
Okay.
And there was an argument between the two. And so all I know is this dude is buying everything for everybody. This dude looks like he's into fight. Let me go help this motherfucker because I'm like, that's me, right? We got into a fight. It goes outside. It gets all crazy. I hurt some people. I didn't even think the dude saw me because there were so many people. It was like a fucking 30-on-30 brawl. We go back inside. Those guys had to leave. As we go home, I got home later, right? We got home like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to go to work. Oh, my homie calls me. He's like, hey, so-and-so is going to send a car for you right now. What's your address? And I was like, Wow, for what?
I'm like, don't send no cars.
For what?
Yeah.
For what? He goes, he's gonna send a car for you. What's your address, man? He's gonna send a car for you. You gotta get in the car, bro. I go, I gotta go to fucking work, man. He goes, Eli, get in the car. And I was like, all right, okay. Called him. I'm sick. I was dying anyway.
Kind of.
So car pulls up. I get out of the house. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Get in the back. Get in the back. We went to like two people's houses. This motherfucker never introduced me to anybody. Like, I'm just there with them.
We just went making rounds.
Two people's houses, talk, meeting. We do lunch in El Cajon. We do a couple of people's houses. And that's all meetings, right? And then we did dinner someplace. And then it was all fucking day, bro. So this is in 1997, 96. I used to work as a TA for a child development center. I was making like $1,000 a month, right? Okay. Back then, it was like $3.75 an hour, $4, whatever it was back then. At the end of the day, he's like, all right, man. Pulls out this, right? $500. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at him, right? This half my fucking paycheck in one day.
Yeah, you're like,
and he goes, I'll see you tomorrow. And I go, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. I quit my job, and I started, so my first initial thing was we would go pick up the cars, like when they would bring cars from Mexico, like the vans, whatever, we'd go pick them up. We'd have to do the crisscrosses and make sure nobody's watching, pick up and then take them to one of the houses, count. And then one day, it was like the fucking movies, dude. There was this, I don't even want to say his name, but this guy from Otay calls and says, hey, so-and-so who you're looking for is going to be at this gas station on 3rd, whatever, Chula Vista, at 12:38, whatever, right? Everybody starts, like, what the fuck are we doing? He's like, we're going to pick this dude up. Or like, he needs a ride? Like, nah. We're going to pick this up because he owes $120,000. I was like, yeah, can I go? He's like, yeah. So he gives me a gun. He's like, you're going to be with me. And I'm like, okay.
Shit just got serious.
Yeah. Hey, broad daylight, Nextel, remember the Nextel radios back in the day? All planned out, in and out 2 minutes, right? Yo, I was like, this is me. This is
that's an adrenaline rush.
This is what I want to be, right? And I was so good at that. I got moved from the pickup to eventually becoming the head of the pickup crew. That was my job. The main job was being the head of the pickup crew.
And if anybody's not paying attention, if you think San Diego is all palm trees and beaches, it's not. Just be aware that we live.
See the beach.
Barely see the beach.
Yeah. So back to your question, is jiu-jitsu came in so helpful for that, especially. And to me, I thought this is it. This is what I was made for. And all my life, I had heard you're going to be a great leader. You know, God picked you. You're going to be a pastor. I thought, okay,
I am a leader.
Yeah, I go. This is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm supposed to be leading.
Now the fat kid, right, inside got immediate. So I would go to a place. I'd walk into a place and people knew who the fuck I was.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to look at me. Like when I showed up, you're in trouble. Yes, you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
And there's not even. We don't even have no options.
Yeah.
you gotta go.
Being a young kid. And then doing jiu-jitsu and doing that, it's like, it gave me like a superpower. Because back then,
nobody knew what to do.
Nowadays, motherfuckers doing jiu-jitsu at the YMCA, or you watch the UFC and guys who get together.
But back then,
nobody knew what that. So that made me Superman. You know, and
if you don't got a gun.
Yeah, and it was just
it's a wrap.
And it was a rush. That was my drug. You know, and that's the first time I experienced cocaine, and I'll never forget that. Like. The first time I saw cocaine, I'm used to Miami Vice. Remember Miami Vice? So they never showed it bricky in Miami. It was always powder form.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I'll never forget that the first time we were at a party and this big bowling ball comes out, just a brick of rock. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was detergent. What the fuck is that? And everybody gets their credit card out.
Start breaking up.
And I go, what is that? Like, I'm like fucking tripping out. And my homie goes, Eli, that's fucking gay. And I was like, damn. I was like, how come it's not powder? Like, right? Everybody starts laughing.
This is the better shit.
Yeah.
That's why.
So he goes, here, get your credit card or my license, break it, and do something. And I was like, oh, I feel like Superman. And then I was fucked from then on. You know what I mean? It was bad. It was bad.
With the demons.
Yeah.
The ability to.
Anybody who's ever done that knows that it, like, if you think you're Superman, this makes you Superman times 20. Like, you're just invincible. You know what I mean? And here's what I realized. I realized that it wasn't that saved me. It was God's hand my entire life. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. There was one time we went to go pick up this dude, and this dude wasn't having it. He went, and this motherfucker had 2 coconuts. And he's like, what's up? Right? And I had never seen that before. Right? So it's me and my other boys. We have AK-47s, and we're pointing at him, and the dude popped the 2 coconuts. Right? And we're like, and you want to talk about like being, Look,
slow motion.
My hands are getting wet just thinking about it because we were in a little fucking room and it was a little fucking house. Super slow motion. All of a sudden the gun was super heavy.
I can't even get it on target fast enough. Yeah.
And we're just like, and you're looking at my boss, and he's like, you're like, back out, back up, back up, back up. You know what I mean? And it was just like, that's the kind of shit we were doing. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and even then, you're like, you can't wait to like do it again and go. Now we're gonna, we're gonna.
We made it.
But now it's like, now we're gonna show this, right? It was just the hand of God was on me the whole entire time for whatever reason.
Now, typically with a discipline like jiu-jitsu, there is a lot of morality. There's a lot of they try to encompass moral values and how you should treat others. How do you balance that and what you're doing at that time?
I don't think that's true though. I think in the traditional martial arts that's a lot like that. Karate, taekwondo, kung fu.
Really?
Yeah. In jiu-jitsu, I'm gonna tell you right now, early days when I started, these motherfuckers were fighters. Like it wasn't about being more. It was
strictly tactical.
It was dojo storming. It was being the best. Like it wasn't about being the best partner. It was about being the best person you could be. Like that early days of jiu-jitsu, it wasn't about like now it is because now people want to make money, so they're trying to like. We were just talking about this with who you were saying earlier. He was just talking about a professor that would fuck his students up like that was mean as fuck. A lot of those professors were like that, So look, if it's like when people do steroids, they say, "Oh, it's gonna give you roid." But it's not. If you're an asshole, it's gonna make you more of an asshole. That's what that is. I think jiu-jitsu, martial art, any power in general is gonna. When you get money, it's just gonna amplify who you are.
Correct.
So, and I think that's more of the case when it comes to jiu-jitsu. It just when you have that understanding of what you can do to somebody else, regardless of how big a person is or whatever, and you have this knowledge that you can at least survive an attack.
I can equal the odds.
Yes. I don't think it has anything to do with like moral, because I don't think I was ever taught morality or anything like that. I was taught how to be a hard motherfucker. Like I'm gonna shout out my first master, Fabio Santos, and all those guys from that first academy, like Tino Martinez, Dean Lister, Jeff Higgs, Aaron Hernandez. All those guys out there that are still trained, that have their own academies. All those guys. We would go into class, and it wasn't a fucking class unless you were like dragging yourself off the mat. Like we didn't learn morality. We learned how to fuck people up. We learned how to be hard. We learned how to, because that's what jiu-jitsu was in those early days. It was about, those guys were still fucking dojo storming people.
This is the real arts. It wasn't we're going to go sell it to the,
it wasn't even called,
it
wasn't even called MMA. It was, back then, I remember when Dean was getting ready for his first fight, it was NHB. It was no holds barred fight. It was called NHB. It wasn't called MMA.
It's about there's no rules.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it was like, so I didn't learn, like, and then at the end of the day, I guess you could say I just didn't care because the money, like when you're a young kid and you go someplace and like girls who would have never looked at you 2 years ago, now they're like, or dudes that would have never looked like, I'm gonna tell you something funny. It was, and maybe a few people understand this. At the end of the day, it was better when a fucking dude would look at me and like put his head down than if a bitch looked at me and like, that was even more power. That was even more drunk. Yeah. Like if dudes wouldn't look at you like that, I like fuck a bitch like that. Like but when a dude looks at you and is like and scared of you, that's more. You get more drunk off that.
And we talked about that. On your podcast.
Going to the club, not even want to dance with a girl. You just want to dance with some fools.
Yeah.
We got our. That's how we earned our stripes. We come nowadays. These kids are shooters. They instantly, but because they don't have any balls. You know what I mean? They're afraid to explain why they got black eyes. They're afraid to get touched. We weren't afraid to get touched. That's where you stood or made your ground, and your name and your reputation was all you had back then. So if you could walk into a room and people be like, "Oh, that's so and so," don't fuck with him. And don't fuck with anybody he's with. You know what I mean? Well, everybody who rolls with you is like, "Yo, we're protected because we with Alliance." You know what I'm saying? We good.
I remember one time my younger son, because I'm really open with my kids about my
who you were.
And and that's how I met their mom. That's how I met their mom. And so I remember one time my youngest son goes, "Dad, have you ever done meth?" And I go, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah." I thought it was coke. And he goes, "What do you mean?" So one day we're at the club. And then my girlfriend,
it was pink back then.
It was fucking pink. So my girlfriend, this one was yellow. Like
okay.
So my girlfriend, who became my wife at the time, she goes to the bathroom, and as she's trying to walk around, the security's walking with her. Some dude goes up to her and like tries to grab her, like, you know, and then the security stopped them, points at me, and I looked at the security handled it, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. He didn't know, you know. So then I go to the bathroom, and I'm taking a piss, and the dude comes up to me. I don't speak. Here's my thing. Here was the running joke. Here's the running joke about me during the whole time. I don't speak Spanish, right? So I'm this dude.
High level.
I'm this dude, right, that doesn't speak Spanish, right? That's the running joke. Like, I don't speak Spanish, you know. I understand it. I can't conjugate my verbs, you know. So I was always like embarrassed to speak it, right? So that was like the kind of running joke. So I'm taking a piss, you know, and as soon as the pisser's like, it's just...
It's a trough.
Yeah, it's a trough, you know? Yeah. So right there, and then, so the dude's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, this is a motherfucker that tried to hit my lady up, you know? He's like, I'm so sorry, in Spanish, blah, 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 blah. He's like, and I go, oh, yeah, yeah, sure. You know, so I'm taking a piss. He takes his bag out, right? And it was a bag, man. I was like, oh, this shit, what kind of fucking Coke is this? It's yellow, right? He's all, right? And I was like, all right, homie, we're good, you know, whatever.
Yeah, thanks.
Yo, it was not Coke.
He's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was fucking, like it was the movies. Like I was like,
yeah, too jittery.
Yeah, too fucking jittery. We had a hotel that night. I
couldn't go to sleep.
And then one of my homies, who I ended up working for him by just me and him at the time. He's like, I don't think that was Coke. He's like, you're on meth. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, that was the first and only time.
First and only time.
First and only time. Yeah.
And since we share, and I had a very similar experience when I was going through some times getting out in the military, and one of the guys that I was in the barracks with had some, and he's like, yeah, just take some. I'm like, okay, and we took it, and I'm like, I don't feel anything because I'm used to Coke. I'm used to, you know, weed. I'm like, if I smoke or I drink, I can feel it. I know I'm getting fucked up. And I couldn't feel it. He's like, just take another bump. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I'm like 5 bumps in, still didn't realize it until it was time to go to sleep. Yeah. And I love to fucking sleep. Yeah, yeah. So when I got time to sleep, I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't for me. Yeah. I can't do this. I can't be up.
I remember the first time. So me and this, I ended up becoming this guy's. It was just me and him. He didn't have a crew. Okay. And he was a little Indian guy, right? A little Indian, dark Indian kid.
Off the reservation?
Yeah. No. He was from Mexico. Like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
Indian, right? Dark, but he was always Versace'd out and everything like that, right? So as I was getting close to him, he eventually wanted me to kind of like take over his operation. So we went to this place. I don't even want to say the place, but we went to this place in Mexico, and it's a ranch, right? And I was going to learn how to mix everything and how the whole thing was.
Yeah.
So we get to this little gas station, one of those Oxos or whatever, you know, we're waiting there. And he goes, okay, they're going to come pick me up. I go, motherfucker, I don't know where we're at. What do you mean? He goes, they're going to come pick me up first, and then I'll come back and get you later. I go, what the fuck is later, bro? Like, what do you mean? Like,
where are we at? I need it.
He goes, I got to go first. I didn't tell them you're coming. And I was like, all right. He goes, don't worry. Yo, 3 hours later, something like that. I'm like, this dude, they fucking killed my man. And I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. There's no fucking
I don't got nothing.
This is back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yo, and I'm like fucking about to start crying. Like, I don't know what to fucking do right now, right? It's in the middle of nowhere. Like, you look left and right, you see like fucking dust bowls and shit, right? And the knock on the window, Elias. And I was like,
it's time.
Fuck. I was like, yo, I wish I could be like, yeah. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah. He's like, come on, let's go. And I was like, this motherfucker knows my name. I'm like, he gave my name up. Like, you know,
this is not good. Yeah, you're going through worst case scenarios.
We get in the car. And we drive up, and he's like, ¿Hablas inglés? Or hablas español? I go, not really, bro. He goes, and he explains to me, he goes, when you get out of the car, don't make any sudden moves or nothing like that. There's a house on top of it. So we had a ranch, there was a house. There's a guy with a gun on you, blah, 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 blah. So we get out, and I'm just like, my head is down, right? And then I hear, and then I hear my homie just be like, like laughing, you know what I mean?
Like, got you.
No, he didn't say got me. He's like, I'm sorry it took so long, but I had to make sure that, you know, like, no, it was legit. Like, they're like, you can't be who's this motherfucker. He had to explain to them, like, hey, this is the guy that's going to eventually take over. Like, he needs to meet you guys, blah, blah, blah. So we go into this fucking, I'll never forget, man. We go into this fucking barn. There's a bobcat. Like, they found a bobcat and the man's all tied up, whatever. They're fucking around with it. I walk into the barn where they're making the meth, right? And we're talking about 100 gallons. Like 100-gallon, you know, big operation. Yeah, big operation, right? I walk in, I never experienced it, but I walk into this place, and after 2 minutes of just being in the fumes, both my nose just started bleeding. Both nostrils just started bleeding. I walked out, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, when we would mix it, I would get, like, before when I would try to mix it, I was mixing it without gloves. I didn't know, right? I didn't know nothing about nothing, right? And that shit would fuck me up. So, you know, unfortunately, he ended up getting killed. You know, he was a good guy, but that's the price you pay sometimes. You know,
when you're in that lifestyle. Yeah. So, when do you think you finally said, "Hey, I'm gonna I'm going to transition out. What was it? What was it that made you transition out?
I think it was a multiplying factor of things. But I think at one point, like my dad's my hero, you know. And at one point, and my parents knew what I was doing, you know. Like everywhere I went, I had a bulletproof vest and two. It's kind of obvious. They knew. Everybody knew. And I was that kind of guy where I didn't care who fucking knew, you know. And I remember I got busted. I got busted with an unregistered firearm and $75,000 in cash at the Temecula border crossing.
Oh, that's a good explanation.
Yeah, at the Temecula border crossing, right? And I did some time for that, and then so I was kind of burnt a little bit. You know what I mean?
Had to sit down.
Yeah, I had to sit down for a while, but even then, my heart was still like chasing after that. You know, I still wanted that, but that was kind of like the beginning, I think, of God putting the reins on me and pulling me back a little bit. You know, because I'm not gonna lie. I got friends that have just disappeared, who I'm sure are dead. I got, you know, friends that are, you know, in jail for a long time. And any one of those could have been me, you know. Mm-hmm. So one day I went to my mom and dad's house, and this was the beginning of me. But it took years. But this is the beginning of me realizing that there was something that needed to change. So I go to my mom and dad's house. Me and my mom get to an argument. And my dad is small. My dad is really small. So if you saw my dad, and my dad is dark. So if you saw my dad, you wouldn't think he's my dad. My dad is tiny and dark, right? And I'm yelling at my mom, and I just I got to the point I'm just disrespecting my mom. Who am I? Like when I think back about that at that time, like I'm thinking like how disgusting that was that I was disrespecting my mom in my mom's house. So my dad wasn't gonna have it. So my dad came over to me and starts yelling and screaming at me, and I'm just enraged. I was probably high or whatever, you know. So I pick up my dad and I throw him on the couch. And I go to just to unleash all this, you know, I'm hurt. I'm still hurting. No matter how much power, no matter how much money, no matter how much people love me or
still vulnerable,
or people or were scared of me, I was still a hurt kid inside, just trying to figure out. I was going this way as much as I can, so I didn't have to look back at this thing that happened to me. So I'm about to hit my dad for the first time, and my dad sticks out his hand. He says, "In the name of Jesus," right? Yo, I flew back 10 feet. 10 feet I flew back from the couch. So here's the couch right here, and then the TV's over here. We had one of those big, gigantic, big screen TVs, and I flew from there all the way back to the TV. My dad didn't even touch me. He didn't touch me at all. He just said in the name of Jesus, poof, I flew back. God was not going to allow me. My dad's a pastor. God was not going to allow me to touch the man of God. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just on my knees, and I know what happened. My dad knows what happened. And I'm just like, my knees are down, and my dad comes over to me, and I'm on my knees crying. And my dad goes, "You have to make a decision, Papa." He says, it's your decision to make. But if you go down this path, you're going to die. You're going to die. And so at that moment, that time, it took me and let me tell you something. So he goes, "You need to make a decision right now if you want to serve God or not," right? You know how you hear my voice right now? Yeah. I heard a voice saying, this was a Wednesday. I heard a voice tell me, "Wait till Sunday. It's Wednesday right now. Tell your dad Sunday you're going to go back to church. If you tell him Sunday, I'm going to give you everything you want from now until then." Like you hear my voice right now. I heard this voice in my ear. "I'll give you whatever you want. Girls, whatever. How much money do you need? I'll give you whatever. Just tell your dad you'll go back Sunday. You'll go back to church Sunday. You'll give your life back to God on Sunday. Not right now. Not right now. Wait. You got a few days." And I'm internalizing. I'm hearing this voice. So I'm looking at my dad. And I hear this voice in my ear, like you hear my voice. No, yeah. I heard that voice. Mm-hmm. Wait till Sunday. And for a brief moment, I realized, yo, I'm not gonna make it till tomorrow. Like something. Like
he's trying to pull me.
I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
So I rededicated my life to the Lord, and even then, it was still it was a process for me dealing with my addiction, dealing with my pain, because I never understood how to deal with because I was embarrassed. You're coming from a Latino family, man. Yeah. You talk about getting molested, bro. Like that's a no-no.
No, you keep that inside.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. You know what I mean? So I was saved, but at the same time, I'm dealing with this internal battle of for a hot minute, I thought I was gay. All these things are going on in my life because of what happened to me. And it's like, you don't want to share those things because
you don't want somebody else to judge you even more.
And I didn't understand about that. And then, but that was the beginning. That was the beginning of my road back. That was the beginning of my road back. And it's tough because I still have friends in the game, and every once in a while I'll get a call. "Hey, can you come in? I gotta go talk to somebody. Can you just come with me? Can you come with me?" And I'm like, I can't, man. Like, what do you mean? Like, I can't, you know, like, I'll pray for you, but why do you, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't. I can't because what's going to happen is that's what the enemy wants.
I'm going to get sucked right back in.
That's what the enemy wants. And I can't, I feel like, and I shouldn't say this, but I feel like all the time I have left, I gotta just be doing for God.
You owe it.
You know, yeah, I just gotta be doing for God. I took so much and
survived.
Yeah.
You were one of the ones to make it.
Yeah.
In a game where a lot of people don't make it.
Yeah.
That is very deadly occupation.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were able to make it out, I think that lends to why you fight so hard for other souls, right?
You know what's a really good story is that, so I got arrested for attempted murder, and I went one time and they picked me up. They took me to the Logan Heights station, you know, and I'm in the Logan Heights station, and I'm in the little cell right there. And then a few years back, I do a lot of public speaking. I have through my nonprofit, you know. I work with a lot of law enforcement agencies, and they asked me to go and speak at the Logan Heights station. And they, you know, when you get arrested, you go into the back. You know?
Yeah, of course.
and so at that time when I went to go meet them there, I got to go into the front, and I was like, "Why does this place look so familiar?" You know, I tried. So we
deja vu.
He's like, "Hey, let me walk you around. You know, you ever been here before?" I was like, "Nah, you know, I don't think so." I'm like, I'm walking around. We turned the corner, and I froze.
There's a holding cell.
There's my holding cell.
Like, I know that one.
My holding cell's right there in the corner, and I'm looking at it. And then, and I didn't move. And the guy goes, "What's the matter?" And I go, "Man, you know what?" I go, "A few years ago, I got a while back, I got arrested for attempted murder. And this is the cell that I had here. I was held at." And he goes, "And look at you now. You're about to speak to all these people from the community and all these upper, you know, ranking SDPD officers, you know." And it's like, it was a testament to, you know, your calling is not conducive to your environment. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of people right now, kids in the hood, kids doing their thing in the game or whatever, God has called them to so much more than that. But they think, "Oh man, I'm from the hood. I can't be a great leader." Or I come from a poor family. I can't be a great businessman. And I'm gonna say it like this: when God called King David, He didn't call a king. He called a little shepherd boy. You know, when God called Joseph, He didn't call the man that was going to become the third highest ranking officer in Egypt. He called a snotty fucking punk nosed kid that was a spoiled brat. Mm-hmm. You know, when God called Gideon, He didn't call the mighty man of God. He called a coward who was hiding, you know, and He made them those things. So if anything that you get from today, somebody out there has a calling in their life and they're holding themselves back because they think their calling is conducive to their environment. They think that because where you're at, where you're living, where your zip code is, where your mom and dad are, where your mom and dad have done, whatever it is, you think you can't be that. And that's a lie from the enemy. That is the biggest fucking lie from the enemy, is that because of where you are now, you can't get to where you need to be.
No.
And once I realized that, it was an eye-opening experience. That's the first time when I knew that my life had value. Like, I understood my life had value. God saved me from, how many people do we just know out of the three of us that are in jail for the rest of their life, that are in jail because of their ego, because they wanted to be, right? Jails are filled with people because of pride. To me, pride is overrated, right? There's a lot of motherfuckers in jail because of their pride.
Pride over a female.
They didn't want to just
pride over a parking spot.
Yeah,
pride.
And so at that moment, I realized the value of my life, and for some reason, God saved me for whatever reason, because I was looking at a multiverse. Like I was looking at myself in jail, and like I said, I should be dead or I should be in jail for the rest of my life for the stuff that I've done or the things that I've done, and for whatever reason, God saved me, and that was the first time in my life where I realized, okay, this is real. Like, there's some value here, you know. And it still took time for me to start loving myself, but it was all a process.
When did you start your own gym? What made you motivated you to start the gym?
I've been training since 1996.
Okay,
right, and then so
that's when I graduated.
What school did you go to?
I went to La Jolla. I graduated from La Jolla, but I grew up in Southeast.
Okay. So I started training in 96, and then me and Dean. So in old school, like nowadays in jiu-jitsu schools, you do gi and no gi. Like it's a given. You do it. Back then it wasn't. Back then it was gi all year long, and then maybe for a month you took the gi top off and you just did no gi, right?
When it was hot.
Yeah. So Dean wrestled in high school, right?
Yeah, big time.
So Dean wanted to start doing MMA, wanted to start doing more no gi, and so long story short, Master Five didn't really like that we were doing a lot of no gi, right? Okay. So we would get kicked out, we'd come back in, we'd get kicked out. And so Dean opened up the Dean Lister Academy, and I went with him. I helped run the Dean Lister Academy. That was in Chula Vista. Then from the Dean Lister Academy, I think he went to City Boxing. I went back to Fabio's. Then he left City Boxing, and we went to the boxing club. Right?
Yeah.
And then I was running the show for Dean over there. And the whole entire time, I'm just learning. I'm just learning how to run a business.
Yeah.
I'm learning I'm getting, and I'm very thankful for Dean for allowing me to teach. I taught a lot of the classes there, so I'm developing my game on teaching. I'm being able to speak to people, and just being an overall leader in general. And then we go to Throwdown, which turned into Victory MMA, the biggest school in San Diego.
Yep.
And shout out to all those guys, Jocko and all those guys that gave me my first shot. I was the director of jiu-jitsu over there.
Okay.
And for the longest time, that was probably after my escape from the game and all the stuff I was doing. Now there's another problem I go into. Like I'm training at Victory MMA or at Throwdown at the time, and I'm there at 6 a.m. from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. And then all of a sudden we start partying, right? And we're partying Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday because we're getting free bottle service.
Yeah, you're like celebrities. Stuff. Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And then here comes the drug use again, right? Boom, right back into using drugs, party, and I'm like, yo, I know this life, so it was
easy to pick back up,
right back into it. And
but you're not doing any of the underworld stuff. Now you're just I'm in a good environment, but now I'm just partying.
Just partying, balling out, being crazy, right? And so I just knew it was destroying my marriage, And me and my wife ended up getting or were separated because of that. It was crazy, that lifestyle. So I tried to salvage my marriage by leaving the gym, and shout out to my brother-in-law, who was like, "What do you need?" I was like, "I need 50 racks." He's like, boom, and it's because of my brother-in-law that I have my gym. It's because of my wife's, my ex-wife's family that I got the gym. Like they believed in me so much that they gave me that, and I started my gym, and I knew I could do it. What sucks is not that sucks. I guess it's expected, but I had a lot of close friends. Like brother, people that thought were my brothers. They were like, "You can't do it. You can't make it on your own."
Always.
And you know what I realized? It's not that they didn't believe in me. It's that they didn't want to see. It's that they didn't want to see me succeed because, in their mind, they thought I was better than them. And it wasn't even about that. It was about just me realizing what I was trying to say to my family. And there's so many people out there that are gonna die with all their dreams in their pocket because they're afraid to take that
98%.
Because they're afraid to take that first step. I'm not for me. I'm not the smartest dude. I'm not but I try to learn, and I knew that what I didn't know going into that business, I was going to learn from other people, and I did it. And here we just celebrated my 11th year anniversary at the gym yesterday.
Congratulations.
One of the oldest gyms in San Diego, one of the longest running gyms in San Diego, one of the top 5 biggest gyms in San Diego. And but like I like to say, I don't teach jiu-jitsu, man. I teach self-mastery. I teach people how to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And I think that's why we're successful there. We do jiu-jitsu too. We teach people how to fuck people up. But I'm one of the only schools in San Diego when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy that teaches self-defense. Most people just teach sport. And that's fine. As long as you're learning, that's fine. But I'm one of there's only maybe 5 other schools in San Diego that teach the way I do, And we're very successful. But that's not because anything I do, I really believe it's because of God. God puts his hand on me. He takes care of me. People are getting saved. I run Bible studies out of all my gyms. People are getting saved. And lives are being changed.
So you guys saw the clip at the beginning of the podcast at his promotions, which occurred yesterday, and a lot of people looking at that are going to be like, "Man, that is very different from the promotions that they've experienced." A lot of people are
going to be like, "That's not even jiu-jitsu." So the first time I became famous worldwide on I think it was like 5-6 years ago. We videoed when the iPhones I'm late to the game with all this shit, right? So I'm super.
I'm learning.
So we posted one of our promotion night, Black Belt promotion nights, and it was old school. You know what I mean? Look, you got to train for 45 minutes in front of everybody. We're gonna beat you up, and then you're gonna do all these rounds of self-defense. Someone's gonna put the gloves on. Don't get hit, homie. Take them down and submit them. And so we posted that, and I did a video, and all of a sudden it just went viral, like wildfire around the jiu-jitsu community. Half the people, that's real jiu-jitsu. The other people, what the fuck is that? That's not even jiu-jitsu, right? And it's like, I was happy that my name's out there, we're blowing up. Yeah. What I didn't understand, I couldn't fathom was these people that said that's not jiu-jitsu. But then I realized those are these newer school people that just do the sport. Mm-hmm. I mean, like back in the day.
The points.
Yeah, like back in the day when we first started, there was very few tournaments. I remember
we didn't care about points.
I remember some of the tournaments we went to. Like there was a tournament on a baseball field. Like I mean, there was like, and then it was. I mean, there was tournaments, but there wasn't like these tournaments that there are now. You know what I mean? People were training to learn how to fuck people up, like how to fight. Like that's so. Master Carlos Valente, one of the first corral belts, and shout out to Master Carlos Valente, he took me like under his wing at Fabio Santos. On Friday night, we used to have I'm not fucking lying, we used to have a class called Friday Night Street Fighting class. Like, you get arrested if you do some shit like that now with all these, these people like, oh, you can't have that. It was called Friday Night Street Fighting class. You know what my first class was with Master, because back then Master Carlos didn't really speak any English. He doesn't even speak any English now, but he was like, I'll never forget, the one Brazilian dude was in it. I was like, back in the day, if you were just American, you were just cannon fodder for the Brazilians, right? Unless
just cannon fodder.
Yeah, unless what they wanted to see was if you stuck around. Like if you this is I think what my thought was.
You took the ass when they came back.
We're gonna beat you up. We're gonna I'll never forget, man, when you're a lower belt and you're training with a higher belt Brazilian. And your professor is coaching the higher belt Brazilian. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're supposed to be coaching me, right? And so I'll never forget this one Brazilian dude had Levi's on, and I was like, "Are we training in our clothes?" He's like, "Yeah, clothes." And I was like, "Okay." And I'll never forget Master Carlos like, "Okay, this guy gonna hit you. Don't hit. Dig down."
You're like, simple instructions. He's gonna hit you. Yeah. You don't hit him back.
Yeah,
get him to the ground.
Like, don't get hit. Here's the thing.
He said, "Don't get hit.
Don't get hit. Take him down." And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, that's your distraction? But that was the class. Friday Night Street Fighting class. I mean, nowadays you have to go to. Nowadays you would have to go to an MMA school or an MMA academy to get that kind of instruction that you're getting in my gym. So, but where I'm at Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Academy is a place of higher learning, right? I'm a Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and I prepare my students, right, through health, hope, and healing. I prepare my students to be the best versions of themselves they can be. We just happen to use martial arts as our format. Like I said, I could be anywhere teaching anything, and that's what I'd still be doing. That's
you got special classes like DTAC?
I have DTAC classes for law enforcement. I have my nonprofit, and my nonprofit, we work with at-risk youth. We work with the female survivors of violence or domestic violence.
What's the name of that?
Alliance Eastlake Jiujitsu Foundation.
All right, okay.
Alliance Eastlake Jiu-Jitsu Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. You know what's funny is all my life I've been helping people through jiu-jitsu, helping give people free training and stuff like that. And I've only had my nonprofit for maybe 4 years. We've been open for 11. One time, this parent says, "Hey, Elias, what's the name of your nonprofit? I want to give you some money to support you." All the money that comes to this nonprofit is my money.
Yeah,
it's my money. And I go, "Thank you so much." I go, "But what's a nonprofit?" He goes, "You don't have a nonprofit?" He goes, I go, "No." He goes, "Where are you getting all this money from that you help these people with?" I go, "It's my money. Like, I just give back." He goes, "You really don't have a nonprofit?" I go, "I don't have cancer." Like in my mind, in my mind, I thought. For some reason, I thought Jerry's Kids.
You only think about the nonprofits you hear.
I was like, I don't. Don't you just have to be like
McDonald's?
Yeah,
like McDonald's
I thought you had to be dying to have a nonprofit. He goes, "Elias, you need to get a nonprofit." And I was like, "Okay." Shout out to Mr. Craig who helped me get that. And so he talked to me about that. So we got our 501c3 nonprofit status, and once you're a legit nonprofit, people are more apt or more willing to give you donations, to give you money. Because even though I was doing all these great things for the community, people would ask me, what's your nonprofit? I go, I don't have that. I don't know what that is. Like, I don't have that, But now that I'm a nonprofit, it just opens up the doors more for people that want to help.
Now, you mentioned...
Can I give a shout out real quick?
Yeah,
I want to give
a
shout out to Grasshopper, Chula Vista, Grasshopper Dispensary, Andres and David. Those guys have been huge supporters of my nonprofit since they opened up. What I mean? They have been, and it's hard because I'm a small nonprofit and there's a million nonprofits out there. everybody wants to give their money to the Red Cross, or everybody wants to give their money
big names.
The big names, you know what I mean? And the Grasshopper Chula Vista has always helped me, when I do toy drives, they'll drop off toys. They support me financially. So go like them on Instagram, Grasshopper Chula Vista, because those guys take care of me through my nonprofit. And
we'll put a link to that. We'll put a link to the Grasshopper Foundation in there too, and to your foundations as well, so everybody can go follow. Please go do that. Yeah. You mentioned that you work a lot with law enforcement and military.
Yes.
Now, with your background being the way it is, interactions with law enforcement are somewhat frowned upon.
Yes.
My brother is a police officer, so I I've we're polar opposites. My brother and I went more the way that you went, and he went towards law enforcement. What made you decide to link up with law enforcement specifically, coming from a past where that type of interaction was frowned upon?
So half of my aunts and uncles are law enforcement.
Wow.
I knew.
That's funny how that works.
Yeah. Are law enforcement, and I knew. One of my best friends was a law enforcement officer, worked for Harbor Patrol, and he came from another school, started training with me. He's like, "You guys can't, you teach differently. This is not what I was learning." And I go, "Okay, well, this is when I first met him. I go, well, this is how I teach, man." So he started training with me. His family started training with me. He ended up getting an altercation where he had to take somebody's life.
Oh,
the guy went for his gun. My friend almost died, and he told me, he's like, "The way you taught." Everything you've taught me is what saved my life. So I started thinking to myself, okay, how can I give back to the law enforcement community? I feel like I took so much from them in my past. Mm-hmm. How can I just give back? So I started working I started giving free training to San Diego to police officers. In the beginning, I started giving free training. I do free DTAC for training. Right now, if you're a law enforcement officer, you can train every Saturday for free at my gym. Okay. Every Saturday, no questions. I just show up every Saturday. It was never a thing about. I'd been removed from the game for so long that I didn't care about that. I had a law enforcement family. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of my students are law enforcement, so it's like, I don't care about that. Okay. It was just a way to get back, and then it just blossomed, just blew up. And then I became like, there's a couple things that'll come up if you say my name in jiu-jitsu. It's either like, oh, I don't fucking like that guy. That's not jiu-jitsu. but they respect me, and then, oh yeah, that's the law enforcement guy. That's the military guy. That's my niche.
Y'all say, loved by many, hated by few, respected by all.
Yeah. And so, it's a good niche to have because, law enforcement military usually have families, usually have kids, they usually have partners, and that's who I want. That's my niche, and I think everybody has to have a niche, especially for like just a business sense. If you have a gym when it comes to jiu-jitsu, because it's not a gym where you're just lifting weights. It's jiu-jitsu where we're interacting with each other. Yeah. You don't. Here's my take on it. You don't really want people from all walks of life. It's not going to mesh well. People will say, "Oh, jiu-jitsu will be the glue that holds it together." Maybe, but if everybody has a common denominator, the common denominator needs to be from the outside. It can't be jiu-jitsu. Yeah, got it. The common denominator at my gym again is being conservative, being pro-gun, pro-life. God-fearing, pro-country. Like that's the common denominator. Those things on the outside. And then they meet at jiu-jitsu, and then they're like, "Oh, would you do this?" Oh, got it. It's even tighter. Got it. So that's that.
That's a unique perspective. Did it just kind of naturally fall in that way? No, or did you envision it that way?
What I wanted to go after. I knew what I wanted to go after. At Victor, we had a lot of law enforcement people. We had a lot of military people, and I knew that those guys needed it. I would rather have somebody paying for my service that needs it, because they're going to be more apt to want to stay an extra year, as opposed to somebody who's just trying to do it to lose weight, or someone trying to do it just to get in better shape or whatever, because they don't need it. They want it. They don't need it.
Got it.
Once it gets too hard for them,
they're going to quit.
Yeah, they're going to quit. But the dude who's a law enforcement officer, the dude who's a military guy,
I need to come home.
Knows they need it. Yeah. Even when they don't want to be there, they're going to show up, and so that I tend to go after those people. I tend to go after people that understand this is something that they need, because then they're going to stay longer. Got it. And just from a business sense, if they stay longer, they pay more. So
true, very true. From a business model, I mean, you're always going to have a big pool of law enforcement and the military, right? Neither one of those are going anywhere anytime soon. And then the military is also dealing with PTSD. Yeah, I can see how it would be a great stress release, a way for them to.
So I do. If you're a combat veteran that has PTSD, you train for free with me. I had a student who I didn't see for like a year and a half, 2 years. He shows up to my gym. I didn't realize he'd gone overseas. Okay. He shows up to my gym, drunk, high, with the truck with all the stuff, and he comes into my car, or comes to the gym, and he goes, "Thanks for being here, man. If you weren't here, I was gonna go kill myself." And I was like, "What? Like, I haven't seen you in 2 years." I was like, "What's the matter?" He's drunk. He's like rambling on. He fell asleep on my couch. I said, "Man, just come back and train. Come back on Monday and train. Train for free." And he started training for free. And I made a video about the next day. I didn't understand what was going on.
You just wanted to document it.
But I knew that it had something to do with the PTSD. I didn't even hear that word until I started, like, I was like, okay, this has something to do with PTSD. Like, he's just different. Like, it's not the same person. It's not the same guy that left that was my student before. It's just not his eye. The way you look at him, his eyes.
Different. Yeah.
Different. So I made a post and said, hey, if anybody has PTSD, come on down for 6 months and train, right? Had like 20 guys show up, like within a week.
Wow.
6 months was up, right? So the 6 months is up, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? Tell these motherfuckers start paying? I'm gonna look fake. Like in my mind, I was like, I can't tell these guys you have to start paying after 6 months because I feel like it's gonna look like a scam. So I was like, I made another video. I said, okay, you get 6 more months free if you're already in the program. And people were still coming, you know. And I just thought to myself, fuck it, I'm just gonna give these guys lifetime because lives are being changed. Lives are being changed.
Can't put a price on that.
You can't put a price on that. And I smile thinking about it, like just of all the people that have come through, and when they have to leave or they have to go back home, whatever, and they're like, just the thank you that they give me, you know, like, hey, you changed. Like, I don't know if anybody else can relate, but when you have really impacted somebody's life, like when you have been impressed in somebody's heart, and they give you a thank you and a big hug, that's all you need because you feel that energy transference, you know. And so when I started a nonprofit, if you're a combat veteran with PTSD, just show up. You don't even have to have so what I learned is you don't even have to have your papers because sometimes these guys that get out of the military, if they get out with a PTSD moniker on them, they can't go into law enforcement.
Correct.
A lot of them do.
So they choose not to.
So I don't ask for paperwork. All I ask that you come to the Bible. We have Bible studies once a week, every Saturday. Show up to the Bible study, check in with me once a week, you know, and we're good. And I pay for all that. We cover all their gear. They show up. I give them gloves. I give them a gi, T-shirts, rash guards, and they become a part of the family.
That is awesome.
Somebody spoke about it yesterday. Saying that he stayed open during the COVID.
Yeah.
Because they were going through the PTSD.
Yeah.
And a lot of academies were shutting down because of the risk. And, you know, there was some people struggling with PTSD and saying that their demons were going to take them out. You know, they didn't have to training. Stayed open. So I was the only school in San Diego that never closed during the pandemic because of my PTSD. Not because of the money, like, a lot of people, like the first month, people are like, we're going to help you pay. But then the second month, they're like, hey, Professor, I go, no worries, because they're hurting too. I go, don't worry, God's take care of me. So, you know, we lost a lot of money. I stayed open, and people from other gyms were coming to my gym. I just stayed open for everybody, right? Because I knew how, and we see the importance of that now. We see we see the rise in suicide, the rise in all that stuff now, right? So I'm going to tell you how it was. The city came after me at first, and I've done so much for people, I would get a call. Right, I would get a call. Hey, Professor,
they're coming.
They're coming.
Close it down just for 5 hours. Just close it down.
Thank you so much. Hey, Professor, we just got a call. We're gonna put your paperwork on the bottom. Cool. Okay. So then the city caught me one. The city came in, right? I lowered up. I was like, fuck you guys. I lowered up. They were, can we come in? I was like, nah, it's not hours right now. We changed our hours. But right now it's downtime. We're cleaning. Why are all these people there? They're helping me clean.
Volunteers.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gallegos, you know we've been watching you. That's cool. I go, I'll tell you right now, I'm not shutting down. I'm not going to shut down, okay? I got too many people here that are hurting, and I try to explain to her, like, in the hopes that her humanity, but there's, you know what? I understand why fucking Nazis did what they did. I understand that, because that's what we saw during the pandemic. I'm just following orders. I heard that so many times.
You got to be able.
I'm just following orders. I'm just telling you what my boss, cool, you do that. Here's what happened. The county came after me. So the city came after me, and the city was cool. They knew what was up. She would show up. Mr. Gallegos, we're watching, cool, whatever. One day, the city and the county shows up, right? And it's during the class time. I'm teaching the class. Keep them at the door in the back. And it's this young girl, and I get it. Her boss told her, don't take shit from anybody. We're going to shut them down. I get it.
Oh, he sent her as the puppet.
Yeah, young girl, right? Yeah. So she goes, right off the jump, she was like disrespectful. She goes, we know you've been open. We're gonna shut you down. You're gonna get the shot. I said, fuck you, bitch. Come back. You know, like I lost it. I lost
regression.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you, bitch. I go, and then everybody heard
class
it.
Like, yeah.
And then she did this.
Yep.
And I was like, and I had some words for her that, you know, I was like, I don't give, you know, I went off because to me it wasn't about me. It was about my students. My people. I was like, you're not gonna come, like, you know, you know. And then the next day, the sheriff show up, and they're like, we know who you are. He's like, you're doing a good thing, man. He's like, we just have to show up. We got to talk to you, and we'll be on our way. And I go, cool, I appreciate that.
And he's like, all right, we're on our way.
Yeah. That
talk
cool.
is over.
And that was cool, you know? So out of all that thing, all that, you know, that we're going to fine you $1,000 a day blah, 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 for 48 days, whatever it was, you know, I ended up having to pay like $500, a one-time $500 ticket. That was it.
Well, I think if for all you do for the law enforcement, I think a lot of people probably did chime in behind the scenes and say, "Hey, dude, we're not pursuing this one."
For sure, I know for a fact people take care because I was getting those phone calls from people. Like, hey, Professor, we're gonna put your paper on the bottom, or they're on their way, or whatever, you know. And at the end of the day, God always takes care of me, man. And that's what I know, and that's what I believe. God will always take care of me, you know, and He did. And you know, at the end of the day, when all those people were training, people got mad and upset. And like, those guys are going back to. I go, I didn't open up my gym for everybody to come and train under the guise of, okay, guys, when it's over, I need you to sign up. I wasn't doing that. I'm not taking because now I'm taking food off somebody else's table.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to do that because if I was hurting, the motherfuckers that were closed are hurting even more. A lot of gyms didn't open back up.
No,
you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm not. And a lot of us are friends. So I had people training with me that went back to their academies, and I was like, good. I wasn't trying to keep anybody. I was just trying to stay open for people's mental health. But some of my others, you know, I had people close to me like, you should have charged them. I go, why? For what? Like, that's like, to me, it's like, I don't need the money. To me, it's not about the money. It's just this is just the platform that I have. Look, I shouldn't say I don't need the money. I mean,
everybody needs money.
Yeah,
we all need
I don't want to act like that, right?
Yeah.
But God takes, like, if I lost my job today, I would still be okay.
Yeah.
God will give me I'll have something else. Like, I never worry about that. I never have to worry about money. You know what I mean? So it wasn't about the money. It was just about staying. And some people didn't understand that. They were like, you should have charged. They should have been loyal to. I go, why? I never asked them to be. They need to be loyal to their friend, to their old academy. You know, I had one or two people stay, but it's like it wasn't about that for me. It was just about being.
No, it's just giving people the chance. It sucked for people who had to lift weights. You know, there was no gyms. I mean, if there was one gym open, all those people are going to that gym. Doesn't matter if they were with 24-hour fitness, Choose Fitness. They go into wherever they can go get the weights. So I understand that completely. You know, I'm not plugging nobody. You better come with some money if you want some of that. So you have you mentioned you also have a foundation for abused women.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So what we do in that part of my program is so every month I try to do a free self-defense rape prevention seminar. So shout out to anybody, a church, anybody who has women, if you know women in a business, women that work at whatever, from the age of 13 and up, through my nonprofit, we give a free rape prevention self-defense class seminar for them.
Okay.
And then if they want to come and train, I provide them with all the equipment necessary. We give them counseling, mentoring. Okay. We call it like women empowerment. So we just empower these women because a lot of times once that happens to them, you know, a lot of women will gain weight. They'll become antisocial. They'll do whatever it is. Yeah. And so we just want to, again, health, hope, and healing. That's what we do at my academy through my nonprofit. We just want to be a part of the process of healing. And so if you know a woman who has been involved in domestic violence or rape, bring them to the academy, give them my number. We do an assessment. We get and don't worry about it. Nobody knows that you're in the program. They just think you're somebody that you're paying
in the class.
You know what I mean? But if you go to our YouTube channel, Alliance Eastlake Jiujitsu, when you look up Mariah's story, it's a good video of what Jiu-Jitsu has done for a woman who has been involved in violence. Okay. And it's a great video, Mariah's story, on our YouTube channel, Alliance Eastlake Jiu-Jitsu. And
we'll put a link to that as well. Yeah, that's awesome.
Really good, yeah.
That's cool.
Jiu-Jitsu, it's just when you understand that you have this innate, you learn this innate ability to defend yourself against somebody much bigger and stronger than you, and not necessarily beat them up, but survive. The look on somebody's face, the look on a girl's face who comes into my program, you know, and the first time she taps out a guy, legit.
No, like legit taps him that way. He can't stop it.
That ding, that like, and then when you see these girls when they stand up, they
like
up a little taller.
It's just full my belt.
A little taller, you know,
straighten out my gi.
The eyes a little brighter. And that's, as a professor, as a coach, as a mentor, that's what you live for, things like that. Like, they're like, they got it now. Like, that's all they needed. And now, it could just be that one little thing and then I'll never see them again, whatever. But that one little thing ignites a little fire in them. And they are forever not the same person they were before when they walked in the door. And that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. Yeah.
That's awesome. What made you start that? What made you start that side of things? Was that with your own personal experiences?
Yeah, just some personal experiences that I'd rather not share right now. But just some personal experience that I've seen. I've seen what that can do to somebody. Yeah, and I see how that. I've seen what that. If not given the help, I see how huge of a downward spiral that could take somebody's life. Correct. That could take the kids. You know, that affects more than just the women. If there's family, if there's kids involved, that will affect the kids as well. So with these women that come to the program, they can bring their kids too for free.
Awesome.
We take care of their kids too. Yeah,
That's awesome. Now you've got how many years under your belt teaching jiu-jitsu?
I think I'm like 15 years at just a black belt alone.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a black belt for 15 years.
And you said you haven't competed much.
No, I didn't compete. I competed once every belt. The last time I competed was 2017. I took second at Nogi Worlds. And then I did a bunch of other tournaments, so second and third. Okay. But I wasn't a real big. So look, back in the day when I was at Fabio's and Dean started competing a lot, when he started fighting, I asked him, I go, how much are you getting paid? He's like, I'm good. So you got to remember, at that point, I was getting up to $800 a day.
Yeah.
Making tons of money, right? And I remember Dean said something like, oh, 4 and 4. And I was like, 4,000? He's like, no, 400. I was like, you $400?
He said, wait a minute,
and then you got to win another.
That's your travel per diem.
And I was like, oh no, I'm good. I was like, I'm hella good. No. So, and the only reason I competed as a black belt, was my son. So my sons never saw me compete at any belt. So we're moving, and my son sees a picture of me competing, and he goes, and my sons are world champions in jiu-jitsu. My sons are on it, at the time. And like, Dad, we didn't know you fought. We didn't know, we know that you competed. And I go, yeah, I did a lot as a kid, or younger belts, lower belts. And he goes, man, I would have liked to see you compete. And I was like, look, being a head instructor, running the business, it's like you look at guys like, well, I won't say their names, but there's guys that open up gyms and then they're still high level competitors. Mm-hmm. They're never at the gym. They're never teaching their classes.
Got it. They're working on themselves.
They're working on themselves. So, what I did was I took that whole year off. I trained for 6 months, right? I trained with my professor, Johnny Padilla, the leader of Alliance in North America. I trained with him. That's where all the beasts in San Diego are. I trained with him for 6 months, and I competed for the last 6 months. And I did really well. I was at the podium every single time. Okay. I competed for 3 years straight. I took second at the Nogi Worlds, and then I took third at the Nogi Worlds twice. I took second at the is it internationals, IBJJF? What is that?
IBJJF?
Yeah, but the international, does they have an international tournament? What's that one?
Nationals.
National. Yeah. I took second. I took second at the Nationals. I did the Vulcan Open, the Hicks and Gracie Vulcan Open when he came out. He came back. I took first gold, absolute black belt division there. So I did good, but for me, training to compete, I hated it. The only reason, I'm gonna tell you right now, the only reason I did it, so for most of those matches, my boys were my coaches. They sat in the coaches' court. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's nothing like winning, beating another black belt, right, at a tournament, and then your kids are watching their dad beat another black belt. So my first ever black belt match was against this guy from Carlson Gracie, that tall guy with the glasses. He's like 6'6". Man, I forget his name. He's a really, really cool guy, right? I'm only 5'8", but I'm ultra heavy. Heavy product, right? I'm 5'8", 5'9", but ultra heavy, right? Yeah. And so when I look at this dude and
shout out to the ultras out there.
all the ultras. And I remember looking over and Tino Martinez, my homie, but he's Carlson Gracie. We grew up in Fabio's, right? And I seen Tino walking with this motherfucker telling me about my foot lock. So Tino goes, I told him about your foot lock. So, damn it. Yeah, I was like, man, homie. That's all I had.
He said, at least he told you, though.
At least he told me.
I told him about your foot lock, though. Just don't try that one.
This dude is 6'6", right? And I'm like, fucking looking at my kids, I got to win this dude, I ended up foot locking this dude in 45 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even if you knew it was coming.
Yeah. I foot locked in 45 seconds. But I'll never, I remember when I got
Shout out to Dean.
Yeah, shout out to Dean. Yeah. We were doing foot locks back in the day. Everybody's doing that now, but we were doing that way back then, And so, I remember when the day I got married, the day I graduated from college, the day I got my black belt, and I'll never forget the day that I won my first black belt match with my kids coaching me, sitting in my coach's chair. I mean, I didn't have a coach. My professor was actually the ref. You know what I mean? She was actually reffing. Yeah. So he can't coach me. But if you see the picture,
that didn't affect the win. Okay?
No, it didn't affect the win. And so when you see the picture, he's got the biggest smile on his face. And it's just like that for me that's everything. That's everything, Yeah. And all my kids were at most of my black belt matches coaching me. Yeah.
Now, how old are your children?
Ryder is 16 and Hunter is 19.
Okay, so they've been, and you said they compete pretty regularly.
So they competed all their kids throughout their throughout their elementary school and out their middle school, they're jiu-jitsu world champions. They're multiple time, all these, they did it all. And then when they got to middle school, they started wrestling. So my oldest one boxes right now, who's about to go to the army, and my youngest one is a high-level wrestler at Bonita Vista High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why army?
He has an uncle that's in the army that he was thinking army or the Coast Guard.
Okay.
His uncle is a Marine, or his uncle is an Army recruiter.
Uh-huh.
I think he
talked him into it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, we need those guys in the Navy.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-Navy, so we need those guys in the Navy.
I'm just happy that because he wants to be an electrician.
Oh, that's a good way to learn.
So I'm just happy that he's going to get college paid for. That he's look, one thing that I don't want to say that I regret, because I don't have any regrets. But one thing I wish I might have done differently was when I had the opportunities to see the world. Mm-hmm. Just to go out and I go, son, you're going to get to see the world.
Is there anything stopping you from doing that now?
Yeah, my obligation. Just look, here's my thing. I love what I do so much that's secondary to me.
But that goes back into loving yourself, though, right?
Yeah, no, it does. But I love myself so much that, like I said, that's how I love other people. So okay. I'm okay with just, like I said, when I get to the gym and I see people smile, that's my world. I love that. Like when I leave the gym, like I can't take more than 3 days away from the gym. So that's why I know I can't leave.
It's your passion.
I can't take more than 3 days away from the gym because I'm like, hey, we got a professional, but I can't take more than 3 days away because right now that's what I love.
Got it.
I love showing up. That's my mission field. Like some people's mission field in Africa or Brazil, that's their mission. My mission field is the gym because I got too many people that are hurting showing up to my gym that need me. So maybe on my 50th, I might do something.
I might do something. So where would you like to go?
I don't know, man. That's the thing. I don't have
a bucket list.
Yeah, when I was younger, here's the thing. I've met so many people that say they travel a lot. They're like, it just changes your culture.
It does.
And I think I would have liked to, from hearing their experiences, I would have liked to maybe, experience that. But I don't have a desire or a want. It's like, oh, I need to. I just think it would have been nice. Maybe I wouldn't have fucked up so much. I don't know.
Yeah, from my friends are those that have traveled extensively.
Yeah.
They do come back different.
Yeah.
And they come back a little bit more universal.
Yeah.
A little bit more grounded to life as a whole because they've been able to experience things outside of the United States. We have it really good here. Yeah.
I went to Cuba. So I did take a family vacation 4 years ago. Went to Cuba, and what turned into a family vacation quickly turned into a learning experience for me. Mm-hmm. We were there for 2 days, and I'll never forget walking with my littlest one. We're in Havana, and I turned the corner, and I see these 3 kids, and me and my son froze, and they had the biggest smiles on their faces, the biggest smiles. They're having the time of their life, and they're kicking around a fucking soda can, and they're just like And my youngest one grabs my hand. He goes, "Dad, they have a can." I go, "Yeah, Papa." He's like, "They don't have a ball?" I go, "Probably not." And he goes, when we were in Cuba is a beautiful place.
It is.
It's beautiful, but they're everywhere we went, they didn't have no toilet paper, no
third
water.
World, yeah.
No toilet paper, no water, and the people get food rationed to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah. there's no big people in Cuba. And
they thought he was a professional wrestler.
They did. I told you that story. So we talked to this guy, and I was like, we want to go to like the best restaurant. It's like it was like akin to a Denny's, right? But so we get there, there's like a little bit of line, and they see me, and they took us to the front. And they were like, and I was I don't speak Spanish, right? And I was like, what? I told my wife, I go, what's going on?
What's going on? I don't know.
And she goes, they think you're a professional wrestler. Only professional wrestlers or gangsters have tattoos like this.
Got it.
So then. So
it's Rey Mysterio.
The money in Cuba, there's 2 forms of money. One of them is called a kook. They're kooks, right? So my youngest son's like trying to get people to buy a picture with me because there's a line. All of a sudden, I'm not.
Sounds like I'm gonna capitalize off this.
There's a line.
Stay still, pops.
There's a line, and people start lining up to take a picture of me. So I'm like, fuck it. And I was like, yeah, come on. So we're taking pictures, and there's people like taking pictures, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And then there's one dude who was, you could tell, like. I don't know how it is, but he was somebody because everybody's nobody. Like there's, he was somebody because he had two girls, and he looked a little better dressed than most. So he might have been in government or whatever. Right? Okay. He had 2 girls. He walks up to me and he like kind of puts his 2 girls, and he's like, And I go, yeah. After that, my wife's like, yeah, we're done. No more pictures. No more pictures.
Okay.
No more pictures. And then we go.
Charade's over.
Yeah. And then she goes, they thought you were a professional wrestler. They thought you were a Mexican professional wrestler. And I was like, what? And then the person came in and we were talking. So we had a person that, like we paid somebody.
Tour guide.
Who was a local. Mm-hmm. He's like, the only people that look like you are gangsters or professional wrestlers. And I was like, oh shit, okay. But it was cool because.
Like, want to take a picture with a gangster?
Yeah. It was, and at that time I was looking nice. I was on like, I think my test count was like 2,500. It was high. Because we had that was like the year after I competed. So it was nice. It was nice.
How much are you down right now?
Weight wise? Yeah. So I was 300 pounds. I was 300 pounds, and then in the beginning of the year,
you ain't no ultra heavy.
In the beginning of the year, I was 265. Right
wow.
Now, I'm 225 right now.
And how have you been able to do that?
Can I shout out my?
Yeah, please.
Mikey's Meals. Mikey's Meals is my food maker. They give me
meal prep.
My meal prep every Monday. Mikey's Meals.
Fire.
Fire for Mikey's Meals. And then look, man. One day I just woke up and I was like, I'm getting old now, and I was just seeing too many people. I got people that I went to high school with that are just dying.
Dying. No, it's dying, it's crazy.
The way we eat is surreal. Horrible. The way we eat is horrible. Processed foods, and it's just like, so I thought to myself, like, I love lifting weights. I love being like big. Like when when you get all jacked, and like that's another thing. Like when you walk into the weight room and people see you and they're like, you get that
you're like, right? What? He's serious. Yeah.
So who doesn't like that shit? You know what I mean?
Especially
then being in jiu-jitsu, it's like, yo.
Not only I don't got just the muscles.
What you say when you get all yoked and then you got guys that look at you, they're like, damn.
Yeah. So it's like, but I got to this point where, look, as I get older, the more weight you have on your heart, it's hard. Mm-hmm. The more we have. So I was like, look, here's my thing. Because I was coming from an addiction, I stopped doing coke, but I was eating fucking candy like a motherfucker. Did you notice at the stores they don't have small candies anymore? Everything's it's the big candies now.
It's all king size.
It's all king size.
There's no more regular size.
So here was my thing.
I did notice that.
The whatchamacallits. I was eating 5 whatchamacallits a day. So that's at least 2,000. That's 2,000 calories just in candy bars. Just in pure sugar.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys a secret, right? There's this thing called Irish sea moss. Irish sea moss. I was deficient. So the body has about 105 minerals that is comprised of our body, about 105, something like that. Irish sea moss has like 92 of those minerals. Right?
Damn.
So my youngest son is into Dr. Sebi. You guys know Dr. Sebi?
Yeah, Dr. Sebi, yes.
So my youngest son's a doctor. My younger son put me up on games like, yo, Dr. Sebi says, or there's a video, you got to take Irish sea moss. I was like, what is that? And he put me up on game, and I go, fuck it, let's go to the store and get some.
Let's go get some, yeah.
Went to the store and got some. Yo, it tastes like you open up your mouth and the ocean in your mouth. It tastes like seawater.
It tastes like sea foam.
It tastes like seawater, yeah. So, have you had it before?
No,
okay.
But I can imagine.
So, check this out. I was so deficient in all these minerals. The day after I took it for the first time. I was able to sleep 8 hours. I went to get my candy, right? I got my candy. I took a bite of it. I was like, ugh. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, it was weird. It tasted different. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's been 3-4 months since I started it. 4 months. I've had maybe one candy, right? Going from having 4 or 5 candies a day, my body.
Nah, I love candy, man.
Yeah.
Can I get a cheeseburger with some Irish sea foam?
So I used to drink a lot of
American sea foam.
I used to drink a lot of soda. Ever since my body, I guess, recalibrated itself.
It just doesn't want it anymore.
I don't need this. I don't need the sugar anymore. I don't need it. And when you stop drinking sugar or eating sugar, you
crash
drastically. You crash. But you lose weight drastically. I'm sleeping better. I like donuts. Yo, I could fuck up a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts like nothing, right? Yeah. And then I'll be in the shower like this later. Crying, crying like that. Bro, get on the Irish sea moss, bro. I guarantee you, bro. The Irish sea moss is no joke. And then I tell people about it, and they're like, "Oh, I can't drink it because you know what? There's everything.
It cuts out the addiction.
Right. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Right. Everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Correct.
You can't. You know how you build muscle is. You go to the gym and you lift weights.
So you can't lift weights anymore. Tears and rebuilds itself.
And it rebuilds, right? And that's what you have to do. You have to tear yourself down and rebuild yourself. And so if you wanna stop eating sugar and you don't have the mental fortitude to stop doing that, take the Irish sea moss and it's gonna recalibrate your body that you don't need it anymore. oh, it tastes. You know what? Fuck you, then, homie. You don't
really want it.
You don't really want it.
That's like CT Fletcher.
Now how much? Now how much?
Either you a beast or a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't really want it.
It ain't supposed to taste good.
Nothing that does is good. Nothing that's good for you does.
Not, bro. In the morning, I'm gonna tell you my concoction. So in the morning, I take 2 big scoops. So I eat that Irish sea moss twice a day. 3 times a day. In the morning, I wake up. The first thing I do is I drink a half a gallon of water. A half a gallon of water. I wake up. I drink a half a gallon of water. I almost piss myself sometimes going to work.
No.
Everything comes out. Irish sea moss, Metamucil, my greens, my mushrooms, and then some some other probiotics and the minerals. That shit tastes nasty as fuck.
Take a shot and just shoot it down.
Nasty. But I drink it, and then within an hour, I don't have to do pre-workout anymore. Like I'm feeling strong all day. You know what I mean? But it's nasty, but it's good for my body.
Don't try that and get off the monsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. That shit is so bad for you.
Monsters is bad.
I don't drink a lot of sugars. I don't really do a lot of that, but I love candy.
Yeah.
I'm like you, man. Now if you go to Costco, they do got the little fun size candy. So I just get the big old bag. I got a big old bowl in my house. Yeah, I just got all of them. Like I eat like 3 or 4 of those things in a sitting, easy.
Professor Mike Young put me on some sugar-free Hershey's and some little Reese's. I'm trying somewhere. And I just start
what is your goal for your weight loss?
I'm gonna hit 100, drop 105 pounds in a year.
Now that's gonna put you in a different bracket, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Are you ready for that?
Sexy bracket.
Well, you got to get in the Irish. You know what else I started taking?
I stop denying the world was rightfully there.
I take a peptide. I started doing a peptide, and it's called semaglutide, and that helps you lose weight too because it readjusts your insulin levels, right? So like if I put a candy in my mouth right now, it tastes like shit to me. I don't want it. I just don't want it. I take the peptide shot once a week.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sugar's not something that naturally occurs in nature, right? It's not something you can find abundantly in nature, which is crazy.
You know what's crazy now is that when I eat an orange or when I eat watermelon,
the natural sweetness,
it tastes like fucking candy to me. It tastes
super sweet.
It tastes like I'm just like where was this my whole life? But it's the way I was eating that processed food and everything like that. So now real sugar. Like, there's sugar in everything.
Yeah, there is. But
they put sugar in
high content, yeah.
But there's sugar. Like, did you guys see that the Subway bread is can't even be considered bread. It's considered cake because of all the sugar in it that they pump into it.
Oh, shit.
Subway bread. What? Subway bread.
Even the new one?
Subway bread.
Damn.
Subway bread can be considered cake because there's so much sugar in it that it's not considered like a bread. They put sugar into everything.
Where's my wife at?
Right?
She loves Subway. She's pregnant, and all I've been hearing about is Subway sandwiches. That's why I know why.
They put so much sugar in everything. They want us to be, to be consumers of everything, and that's what that's about. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Now, you obviously there's. Looks can be deceiving, right? It was one thing that we've learned today, if you guys haven't already. Looks can be deceiving. I heard you mention really fast that you graduated college, and that was one of the bigger things. Yeah. What did you go to school for?
I have 2 degrees, one in theology, one in counseling.
Wow, why theology?
I wanted to get closer to God, and I knew that I was going to be a pastor one day, and I just invested in myself.
Are you a pastor now?
I do pastoral work, but I'm not considered a pastor. I was a pastor for 4 years.
Okay.
I was pastor at a church for 4 years. But now, what's funny is now I do more pastoral work
than you did then
at my gym that I did when I was working at a church.
You got your own church now. You got your own congregation, right?
Church of Punch and Kick.
Yeah, Church of Punch and Kick.
Well, that's real life, though. That's the church of the hard knocks, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny is, I remember one time I homeschooled my kids.
You have just the 2 boys?
Just the 2 boys, yeah.
Okay.
So when I talk about how we homeschool, people, oh, your wife? I go, no, I homeschool. When my oldest son told his teacher, we're not coming back next year, we're going to homeschool. I remember his teacher saying, your dad's not smart enough in front of the kids. Your dad's not smart enough to homeschool. Because I would go and help out at the class.
But come on now.
But I would come from work. I'm wearing shorts, tank, whatever. And apparently she didn't think very much of me. I would always get there and she wouldn't have nothing for me to do all the time.
So now that's...
Now I know why. So then I was like, she said that in front of the class. Yeah. So we had a meeting, and I remember showing up and ask her, why would you say something like that? She goes, well, Mr. Gallegos, what do you do for work? Like that. What do you do for work? And I was like, oh, my own business. And she goes, well, have you ever gone to school? Do you know what it is to teach people? And I was like, a little bit, but I was like, I have 2 degrees. And when I said that, like her jaw dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Her jaw dropped. And I was like, wow, like we're still doing that shit? Like, we're still doing that? Her jaw dropped. And she goes, from where? What do we, you know, I was like, and I explained, and I told her, she goes, and after a while, after like we spent like 2 hours talking, like she became like my best friend afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah. But it's sad. I mean, whatever. You know, whatever. I'm going to forever deal with that, but I don't care. That's nothing to me. I'm happy with who I am. I love who I am now. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed of who I am or what I do. And that's for other people to deal with. If they don't like me, if they don't. I got people spending so much energy on me at other gyms that they have classes about me and they talk about me. Yeah. Like these guys, there's some dudes out there that there's this dude out there that wants to be me so bad that he talks about me. Like, yo, that's why you don't have the student. That's why people, that you have what you have because of what you're doing. You know what I mean? All I can focus on is focus on me, whoever walks in my door, and that's my focus. That's my energy. You know, when people call me, I go, look, bro, if you're not calling me to pay me some money or tell me, like, give me some uplifting shit, I don't care about what anybody's saying about me. I just don't. I can't. Don't get me wrong, before I did, because then I would use that as fuel.
Yeah.
But I don't need that. Like, that fuel will burn you. If you're using that fuel to motivate you, that will burn you out.
Not that, and you'll always have to seek out drama to create it,
that
right?
will burn you out, bro.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore, man. I love who I am. I love what I have. I have a beautiful girlfriend who takes care of me now, and I'm happy, man.
Does she kind of get on you about the time that you spend?
No. So look. I'm gonna tell you guys something. In my marriage, I made so many mistakes in my marriage, where I was never present. I was always at work, and I took my wife for granted. You know, my wife at the time did everything for me. I'm the man I am today because of my wife. You know,
understood.
But for whatever reasons, you know, there's a lot of reasons that why we're not together. Mm-hmm. And so what I've learned is not to make the same mistake twice. So I'm present now. When I'm with my girlfriend, I'm present. You know, let me tell you a real quick analogy. You know, when we were younger, you always hear people talk about, oh, when we were younger, the summers were so long, right? Do you ever hear somebody say that?
I say it all the time.
Summers were so long, or when you were younger, summers, you know, time slowed by.
Yeah.
But as we get older, what do we say? Oh,
speed up, it's gone.
You know why that is?
Because we got shit to do.
No, this is why. Because when you're a kid, you're living in the present. When you're a kid, you're not worried about homework that's due. You're not worried about the mortgage that's due. You're not worried about what happened. When you're a kid you wake up, all you're worried about is who the fuck is outside that I'm going to play with.
Today, right now.
And that's it. Right?
It's true.
Even let's say you take your kid to Disneyland today, right? You take your kid is present. He's at Disneyland. But what are most parents do? Fuck, I got to be at work on Monday morning, 8 o'clock.
You're not even there in the moment.
And you're on your phone, right? And so that's why time breezes by, because nobody lives in the present anymore. Everybody's
all living for the future.
Yeah. And so when you're young, you're in the present. So I'm learning how to live in the present again with my girlfriend. So I'm just trying not to make that.
I just got goosebumps. That was pretty fucking enlightening.
I've made so many mistakes in my life. People like, oh, people think I'm smart. I'm not smart. All I've done is I've learned from my mistakes. That's a way to get smart. That's a way to get smart. But I'm not like overly smart. I don't have this high aptitude for like, oh, being self-aware and like that. I've tried to learn from my mistakes because I've made them so many times. The biggest mistake I made in my relationship, that any man can make in a relationship, is taking the woman that loves him, taking the woman that provides for him. That behind every great man, there's a fucking stronger woman. I've never met a great man that didn't have a strong wife, didn't have a strong girl behind him. I never made that. I've never met a man like that.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
It's true.
And if he does, and if he is without somebody, he doesn't last very long. It's the woman, a strong woman behind. You know, and I took my wife at the time for granted. You know, and I try not to do that now with my girlfriend. So, you know, I lift her up. I'm present. You know, I take time off from work to go be with her, to go spend time with her. We do date nights. And, you know, the sad thing is that it's hard for my kids to deal with that sometimes.
I can see. I can understand that.
But I'm open with my kids. Look, here's my philosophy on this. By the time your son is 13, by the time your kid is 13, there's nothing you can teach them about morality, about discipline, about life. You cannot teach them anything more by 13. Their brain's already developed. They know enough. Or they're not going to learn anything else about morality. Mm-hmm. So at 13, I started talking to my kids like they were young men. Right? I'm still their father, but they know about my addiction. They know about my problem. But I teach them about life. So we have conversations a lot. We'll get in the car, we'll just drive, and we'll talk. We'll go to the beach and just talk. Mm-hmm. And one day my youngest son he goes, Dad, I noticed the way you talk to your girlfriend now, and that's not, you never used to talk to mom that way. He goes, why is that? And I could see him being sad, you know.
No.
Pop, I go, I'm just trying not to make the same mistakes that I did with mom. I go, if I talk to her the same way I did with mom, I go, in another year I'll be by myself again. And I don't want to be, I don't want that. I'm trying to learn. and just being able to, for him to comprehend that and being able to communicate that with him and him understand, he goes, fuck, Dad. He goes, okay, I can get it. And he goes, do you ever wish that you would have been like that with Mom? I go, I wish
all the time.
I wish I would have learned. Papa, nobody ever hurts anybody on purpose. I mean, somebody evil does. I mean, there's evil people in the world. You know, there's evil people and there's foolish people. You know, I go, I was just foolish, Dad. I didn't know any better. You know, when you get married, nobody gives you a handbook.
No.
And you just learn on your own, man. You know, and I made so many mistakes, but, you know, I would never, you know, my wife gave me two of the most beautiful kids in the world, you know, and I'm forever going to be thankful for that, you know.
That's cool. You guys have a good relationship now?
Now we do.
Awesome.
Now we do. As a matter of fact, yesterday we had a 11-year anniversary, and I gave her honor. I brought her up, and I gave her honor and praise in front of everybody. I let everybody know, like, you know, everybody knows we're not together. And they were like, people were like, oh, he brought her up, and we had like 200 people there, something like that, 200 plus people there, you know, and I gave her honor and praise. We wouldn't have 11 years if it wasn't for her, because there were some times when I was on a good one, I wouldn't show up to work for like a month, like literally a month, you know, like I wouldn't show up to work for a month, or, you know, I was spending money and doing, you know, and she was keeping things together, so I had to give her her position, you know, even though we're not together, I wouldn't have the gym if it wasn't for her.
Correct. You know? That's awesome. That says you can be real with your kids and with yourself to be able to realize that.
I have to be.
A lot of people, like you said, will play that facade like, hey, it wasn't me. Cast the blame.
Yeah.
You know, try to put everything else in there instead of saying, hey, I made some mistakes and I'm better myself.
When you try to pass the blame, or when you don't accept that, you can't. I can't respect you as a man, so I can't respect myself if I can't take responsibility for my part in my actions. I just can't.
Yeah, I understand that. So that being said, where you just coming off your 11 years, where do you see the gym headed in the future? What is your vision for Alliance?
I want to buy a building. I want to have 1,000 students at my location. I have 3 other schools, but I want to have 1,000 students at my location. I want to buy a building and have 1,000 students.
Now, where are your 3 locations now, so everybody knows?
We have West Chula Vista on 3rd Street. It's Chula Vista Jiu-Jitsu Club. National City Jiu-Jitsu Club, 801 National City Boulevard. And then I have one in... the fuck is that? Up north, where are we going?
360?
No, not 360. No, up north in middle of California.
Oh, we're talking about Bakersfield.
Yeah, I got one. I got one 100 miles past Bakersfield. Yeah, it's called Flawless MMA.
So those are all your organizations?
Yeah, those are all
So the National City one, is that one on off of 8th Street, like where the old Ramada used to be?
Yeah, right there.
When I mentioned to my parents that we were going to have you on, and I told them Eastlake, my stepdad was like, I've been noticing a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu places, and he lives right off of 8th and 5th Avenue. Yep. So he was like, there's one right on the corner, and I was like, I don't think that's his. But I got to tell him now, like, that is yours. Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's still, and it's like, you got that picture? Hold on. I'm going to show you a picture.
Now, why didn't you name those Alliance?
I'll tell you right now, but that's the picture of us yesterday.
Oh, man, look at that. That is, I wish you guys could see this. This is about 200 people standing.
We'll put it up.
Yeah, we'll put it up. We'll throw it up at the end of the podcast so everybody can see it.
So the only reason I'm Alliance is... Oh, she needs to know. She needs to know that I'm still here. She's like, it's been 2 hours.
I know.
Baby,
mine's just in the other room.
Yeah. So the only reason I'm Alliance is because my professor, Johnny Faria, we used to be part of another team. We left that other team, and he's my professor. I'm loyal to my professor.
Of course.
To the day we die. So he goes, we're going to Alliance. I was like, okay, we're going to Alliance. So I'm part of the Alliance Jiu-Jitsu team. Okay. That's why I'm Alliance Eastlake, and he's Alliance San Diego. Mm-hmm. But I have my own Gallegos Jiu-Jitsu Association.
Got it.
So like I don't want to call it a subset because it's not. It's its own entity. But Alliance Jiu-Jitsu is one of the biggest sports competitor teams in the world.
They just took number 1 in the world.
They just took number 1 in the world, yeah. They did the Triple Crown. They just won the Triple Crown for Jiu-Jitsu. I'm only in there because of the name as far as Alliance Jiu-Jitsu. I'm only in there because my professor's there. Okay. Like I'm just loyal to my professor. I love my professor. My professor, Johnny Faria, is like the greatest jiu-jitsu guy ever. Okay. So that's why I'm there. But everything I do flows under the Gallegos, because that's the Gallegos Jiu-Jitsu Association is my self-defense. All the gyms use my nonprofit. Like we do all that stuff. That's like the grassroots part of me. But Alliance Jiu-Jitsu, I'm just there because my professor's there, and I'm just part of that. Yeah.
Now, I think did you tell me he is the the highest ranked black belt Latino?
Highest ranking Latino in San Diego. Yeah.
Highest ranked Latino in San Diego. Black belts.
Yeah, I'm the highest ranking Latino in San Diego. 4th degree black belt. Yeah.
All right.
That's I mean, unless it gives me free tacos on Highland, I don't know.
It might. You never know. Somebody might see it. We're looking for spot. You know.
Other than that, but it's cool because when I go to so I do a lot of public speaking. That's why I speak at a lot of businesses and schools with my brother. My brother works with John Maxwell, and we're doing our calendar for next year. We got our first gig January 13th, and when I speak at schools, it's like when you see these little impressionable kids, and you tell them something like that, like, who here knows what MMA is? Everybody raises their hand. Who knows what jiu-jitsu? Oh, all right. I'm the highest rank, and it's mostly, it's inner city youth. It's black and Latinos. I'm the highest ranking Latino in San Diego. What? Oh,
no, it means something.
They get hyped. So it's like, it's cool because for them, it's something to see.
You could see he made it.
Yeah. When I tell them, especially when I tell them, like, look, we grew up poor, man. I remember eating fucking cereal for dinner. You know what I mean? Like, when you grow up like that, and it's like you get to this position where now I'm talking about my business, now I'm talking about where I came, now I'm going back and talking about where I came from to where I'm at now. If I can just get one kid to be like, yeah, I got it now. Remember we were talking about your environment is not conducive to your calling. These kids think they're poor. These things think they can never happen. It can never happen to them. When they see me, somebody that it's happened to, then they got a little spark. They got a little bit of hope, and that's all anybody needs is a little fucking spark, a little bit of hope.
What did you say yesterday at promotions about why do people say it's lonely when you get to the top?
Yeah, so you ever heard that, right? People talk oh, it's lonely at the top. You're doing it fucking wrong. If it's lonely at the top, you're doing it
means you didn't bring anybody with you.
It means you didn't bring your team. It means that you stepped on people to get there, and you won't last there long, right? For me, I brought my team with me. I brought my people with me. If you don't bring your I can never fathom when people would say it's lonely at the top. If it's lonely at the top, you're doing it wrong. I brought my whole team with all my people. My people are eating. My guys in West Chula Vista opened up. I taught them jiu-jitsu. Chris Ritchie and National, I taught them jiu-jitsu. All these guys are eating because of me, right? And it's like I brought my team with me. And there's like, what kind of leader would I be if I was the only one at the top? That's not much of a leader to me.
It's not. I say that all the time. I always try to, with my own businesses, I always try to bring my own friends. I try to as much as I can.
I try to keep money. Look, I try to keep money in my circle.
Exactly.
So, and sometimes I guess you will get burned a bit, but I don't care. I'm gonna play the odds and go with money in my team. Money with, the other day I was looking for a mechanic and I was like, hey, I'd rather give money to somebody in my circle than somebody I don't like. I'm just trying to
100%
with my money. With your money, you have to be smart with your money, right? So even though I don't like a certain taco shop, but it's my homie's taco shop, so I'm gonna go there all the time. I'm gonna put money in my homie's table.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna put money in my homie's pocket. And that's just how it is. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna wear anything unless it's either mine or a homie's. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
That's as much as I can help it. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? That's because I'm gonna control where my dollar goes. Because that makes me powerful. That makes me more powerful if I control where my money goes.
And I think that's something that we also need to learn just in the minority communities is how to, I think someone just did a study not too long ago that shows that the white dollar stays in the community for almost 3 weeks. And in the black and Mexican communities, it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's immediately gone. We take our money, we go out to the best parts of this neighborhood and spend the money there.
With their small business, you know what I mean? And it's sometimes even if I don't like your fucking t-shirt, I'm still gonna buy it just to help you with your fucking business.
Just to help,
you know what I mean?
just to show you.
That t-shirt might go someplace else, but I'm gonna help. I'm gonna support you.
Even if it just doesn't do anything but show you, hey, you got a sale.
Yeah.
Even if it came from the homie, right?
Look, sometimes, I know what that's like too.
Yep.
Sometimes when you're not selling shit and someone comes in and it's like they're just trying to make you feel, I'll take that because that's gonna fucking pay a bill, part of a bill.
Yeah.
I'll take that money. You know what I mean? I think people are raised different nowadays.
You gotta help.
Well, I think people aren't raised these days.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's what it is. Yeah.
They're raised by social media. They're raised by Facebook. They're raised by Instagram, TikTok. You got kids out here eating freaking Tide Pods. Come on, bro. It don't take a rocket scientist to know that's bad for you. It's literally written on the package. Yes, but we're gonna do it anyway because TikTok said do it. Nah, man.
That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing that could ever happen to the kids in America is social media, TikTok, Instagram. You see those algorithms, like the TikTok in China. They don't show shit like we do.
No, they don't.
They show math. They show kids getting good at math. Like, it's completely different, man.
But then the funny thing is that they're the ones who make the apps.
Yeah, they do that on purpose.
But they don't do it to their own.
Yeah,
they do it to us. Yeah. They give us all the bullshit, you know, and we eat it up.
Art of war, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Don't even know we at war.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed you have an equation on your hand, and I am an engineer by trade.
Do you know what that is?
I don't, so I want to know because I feel like it has to be interesting for you to put it on display right there.
So, you know what's funny about this is I'm at church one day, and again, the way I look, my appearance, you know, I'm at church one day, and one of the greeters at this, but not my church, at specific church, at the specific church I was at the time, one of the greeters looks at me and he goes, "Do you even know math?" And I had no idea what he was talking about. I go, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Do you even know math?" And I go, I'm sorry? He goes, "Your hand, the equation, do you even know what that says?" And I'm looking at him like, this motherfucker is a greeter at church. And I looked at my wife and I was like, I'm about to drop this dude. Like, I go, what's, like, I looked at it like, am I doing something? Like, what am I doing? Yeah. And I go, excuse me? He goes, "Do you know what that means?" "I'm a math teacher," he says. Like, and then I just realized now he was having a bad day and he wanted to pick on me, right? He's some big 6'6" white dude from Texas. Like, I just knew he looked at the Mexican dude and wanted to, I read it, bro. I read it, right? And I go, oh, it just says B is greater than the median. So B is greater than average. B greater than average.
I like it. I like it.
I like that.
And he goes, oh, what do you mean? Did you come up with that? And he goes, "I'm a math teacher." And I go, "Yeah, I heard you the first time. I actually got it from NASA." And he goes,
"Oh, sales."
And I go, "God bless you, sir." And I walked away. And I was like, that was so, didn't have to do that. But again, I look back at it and it wasn't me. And I wasn't dealing with him. I was dealing with some hurt that guy had, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's B is greater than the median, right? So B greater than average. So when I'm lifting weights, when I'm walking, when I'm doing my pep talks, whenever I'm doing something, you know, I'm always, you know, my hands, I talk with my hands a lot. And so I'll always see this, fuck, one more mile, one more set, one more rep, one more something, because I got to be greater than average. So that helps me out a lot.
We should do a luxury mayhem rash card giveaway to the person that comments in the section of how many tattoos Professor.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
If we get close to it.
So we are gonna we mentioned we were gonna do giveaways. So this is a great way to start. I think this episode is gonna be big. There's gonna be a lot of viewers on this one. So the person who can leave the number of tattoos that we believe that Professor Elias has.
Number. We want to know what he's got. We want to know what he's got. What tattoos has he got?
Well, that might get a little spicy. That might get a little spicy.
Homework.
Yeah.
They gotta do their homework because I've been trying to. I look at him and I'm like, okay, he's got. What is this? Lover, not fighter. And then we got this and that. And we got a couple things.
Okay, so you guys got to do your homework. So we want the number, and then we want the most exotic tattoo that you've personally seen from looking at his Instagram or his social media.
I want to do one too.
Go ahead.
So I got a shout out to Sarabuhai and that's my Brandon. That's my tattoo guy. So I have a tattoo of a ballerina on the back of my head.
Okay.
Right, the first person that can tell me what that means, I'll give them a year membership at my gym.
Man, you guys are getting the homework today. So tattoo on the back of the head of the ballerina. Do you have that up on social media so they can actually see it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so go to social media, look at the tattoo, look through the social media, find the tattoo, and try to find out the meaning. You're gonna get free training from this man for a year. And whoever can comment with the closest number of tattoos and then your personal, which one you think is the most exotic, that's what we want.
My favorite is our brother who passed away, Sean Locklear.
Yeah. So our brother passed away. He has a picture.
One more roll.
Yeah. And that's him right there.
Oh, man.
That's his silhouette. I think it's just like Yosemite National Park.
It's almost like a Jordan. Almost like a little Jordan symbol. That's awesome.
Right there, yeah. It was cool because yesterday at the promotions, one of the professors brought it. We made shirts for Sean to raise money for him when he passed away. And I got into the gym and the shirt was on the wall. They put the shirt on the wall and it was cool. And it's funny because, or not funny, but it's cool. Sean's nephew trains with us now, little Liam. He's like 3. And that motherfucker don't listen, but but it's cool because Sean's mom and dad come all the time to the gym now, and it's awesome. It's good.
Well, we definitely want the community to get more involved with you. I think that you are a shining star in the community. I'm blessed to have had you come in and sit down with us today. I'm enlightened, and I felt like I've learned a lot. We want to follow the path for Alliance. And is there anybody that you want to give shots out to? Anybody that you missed?
I just want to thank Mikey's Meals. They take care of me. I want to thank my teacher, my professor, Johnny Faria. My pastor, TJ Anglin at Heart Revolution Church. Again, Grasshopper Chula Vista for taking care of me all the time. You guys for having me here.
Thank you.
Share my story. Yeah. You guys should follow me on Instagram at Alliance Jiujitsu Eastlake or at Pepper Brooks. Just do the Alliance Jiujitsu Eastlake.
Is there a Pepper Brooks page?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
But let's go to just Alliance Jiujitsu Eastlake and then come on through. Again, if anybody knows of a female that's dealing with domestic violence or rape, shoot them through me. I'll get them free training. We'll take care of them. Anybody knows a combat veteran dealing with PTSD, I'll take care of them. And any at-risk youth that want to get out of gangs or they're in the game that want to get out, bring them to me. I'll mentor them. I'll counsel them, and I give them free training for life.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I'm blessed that we have people like you in the community to just help get more attention to the sport, to get more attention to to mental health, more attention to taking care of yourself, spiritually as well as physically. I think that you are a beacon in the community, man, and we are really looking forward to seeing what you do. And I thank you for coming out so much tonight. You guys just watched and got some good information, probably one of the best podcasts that we've had so far. We touched a number of things on this podcast. So if you like what you're seeing, please, again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down in the corner. Make sure you go follow both of these guys. Their links will be in. Big Daddy Martinez, Pepper Brooks out of Alliance Eastlake Jiu-Jitsu. We want to give a shout out to all you guys out of Dago rocking with us. We will see you on the next one. This has been episode 9, Luxury and Mayhem.